I thought you were being funny, but I wasn't sure.
I'm not being funny because
You're
I'm
pretty
not a funny
funny. You're
person.
funny. You're funny as fuck, actually. What's up,
Funny
Delicate?
looking, maybe.
No. Psh. Delicate is here. Archival Raccoon is here. Our scientist is here.
Nice.
What's going on? Are you
The lateness is my fault. I have to admit.
the lateness? Yeah, Angela is to blame.
Yep.
It's true. I paced while she made us late. Highly disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to take sometimes. We're 5 minutes late. It's a lot of late.
4 minutes, according to my watch.
Well, I would imagine you were keeping track since it was your offense. Anyway, it's good to see you guys. Glad to hang out with you again. Is it Friday?
Yep. Ready for the weekend.
I'm so caught up in all my shit that I don't even know what day of the week it is.
We got a delightful treat from the New York federal court docket today.
Well, I think it was yesterday, but yeah.
Was it? Oh, it was yesterday. Yeah.
I think it was yesterday.
Oh, whatever. What is time?
It's not real.
So we'll talk about that today. It was basically just Judge Liman is scheduling a thing.
Obama told you to get your shit together.
I need to get my shit together.
He said expletive though, so it might be get your tootin' together. Or it could be double expletive. I guess you would put double expletive, would you? That's a good one.
I deserve it, whatever it is.
A double expletive? No, just Archival Raccoon is dancing around Friday. TGIF.
So apparently the powers that be in Hollywood heard us griping about how Tom Hardy was a victim of a smear campaign.
Yeah.
So now they're making a big show of they're no, he's not fired. Actually, we're in talks to bring him back.
Right.
Which is amazing because both of those things can't be true. What do you mean you're in talks to bring him back, but he wasn't fired?
Yeah. Somebody definitely went after him because my guess is that he didn't bring that kind of unwanted attention on himself.
No, of course not.
So somebody did. And that somebody is probably the person or persons close to the person in disagreement with him.
I think his agency and his lawyers were probably hey, so do we need to fucking do something about this?
I don't want to get all Blake Lively in this situation, but
what the hell's going on?
What the fuck is this?
So I think the
guy leaves you alone and you have a problem with it.
Also, there was a huge backlash from people being well, that's it for that show. I'm not going to watch another fucking season without Tom Hardy in it after all this bullshit. So I think they were I think I've identified which side my bread is buttered.
Yeah, he's beloved.
Yeah.
He's beloved. And for good reason. He's a great actor. I mean, a little shame about the looks.
Oh yeah, you think he
yeah, you can't win them all.
He's been gifted with good fortune instead of good looks. Is
yeah,
that what you're saying?
You can't win them all. Face for radio and all that.
Face for radio. That's why they had to put him in the Bane mask in Batman.
That's right.
Because he's just really
hideous.
Unpleasant to look
he's
at.
Hideous. They're just oh, well, we can cover that, can't we?
What's your favorite Tom Hardy project?
I'll probably go all the way back to Bronson.
It's got to be Bronson.
I mean, that was just transformative.
Yeah.
I'd have to actually look at his resume to think about the rest. They're all just miles behind it.
A fucking excellent double feature. If you want to be absolutely awash in appreciation for excellent fucking super challenging acting roles for dudes who have gone mainstreams ever since, is you would do Chopper and Bronson. Chopper is about the convict. I can't remember what he went to prison for, but he ended up having a really, really the guy obviously has a screw loose, but he was played by Eric Bana, and it's the bio film
Ozzy.
of Chopper Reed.
Yeah,
and they do this really amazing scene where he cuts his ear off in prison, which actually fucking happened. Because he was trying to get into the infirmary, so he was okay, well, I need to be injured, but I'm too much
sufficient enough to actually, where they're not going to be bleed it out, yeah. You'll be fine.
The guy was I'm too tough and too crazy, nobody's going to fight me, so what I have to do is get injured some other way, and I've got a great idea.
I'll take my ear.
Slice my own ear off. But what's incredible, the filmmaking is so amazing. It's it reminds me a lot of...
Is that a spoiler?
Oh, yeah, sure, but whatever. It's not it's not like the climax of the movie or anything. It reminds me a lot of it's kind of the same like vibe as Sexy Beast, but the filmmaking was so incredible. Like during the scene where he's slicing his ear off, they tell that he's in a cell he's confined with another guy, and there's a bunch of really awesome BTS footage of the other guy in the scene working himself up to vomit. Like the other actor is like actually working himself up in horror. It's just amazing acting. Australians, man.
Yeah, they know how to do it.
Anyway, after he got released from prison, he was like, there's a lot of interviews with Chopper Reed where he just talks about how like just nonchalantly how he sliced his ear off and like he's like missing ears in the interviews. He's just a fucking crazy person, but he became like a hometown hero. I don't know. You know how Australians kind of, at least from the American perspective, they kind of have like this outlaw attitude. Like their cultural export is like outlaw, renegade, maverick type vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that guy exemplified.
Deanne's with us, by the way.
And Bronson,
Serrata,
another famous criminal.
Yes.
Played by Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
It's another excellent movie where he is very, very difficult to manage in the prison system. And Tom Hardy does this really amazing. The filmmaking is so
no spoilers.
No spoilers. But the filmmaking is so creative that they sort of like present his delusions as if they're real in a really, really remarkable way. I just think that those two films are must-sees.
I agree.
And you'll forever appreciate Tom Hardy and his acting ability after you see Bronson.
Yeah, he's just a super talented guy. I bet you he wish he... What movie did he make with Leo? Was that the one about
That was The Revenant.
I bet you he wanted that fucking role, bro.
Oh, he would have fucking nailed it, dude.
He would have... It would have been so over-the-top brilliant with him.
I know. I can't believe that they didn't cast it the other way. But he played the villain, which I think he's well suited for because, you know, he's awesome.
Because he's villainous.
Yeah, he's just really good at doing.
He's adaptable, bro. He could like doing both. You know what I mean? He could be the good guy. He could be the bad guy. He could be the shapeshifter.
It's probably why they cast him as Venom.
Yeah, well, I know that he is typecast, but that's Hollywood for you. You know, he got typecast from Bronson.
Oh yeah,
for sure. I mean, he got as the bad guy, the crazy guy, the killer guy. Yeah,
he's so great. This is a Tom Hardy appreciation channel.
Tis.
But I get what you're saying about his looks, you know.
Yeah, I was kidding when I said hideous, but.
Did you mention this already? Somebody showed a comparison of like young Tom Hardy and like more recent Tom Hardy, and they were like, "Oh, what happened to Tom Hardy?"
It says, "What happened to Tom Hardy?" Like all sarcastic, like.
And this lady on Twitter, she retweeted it, like reposted. She said, "He got hotter." Next question.
Like it's just another classic like example of how men have no idea what women want.
No, they don't.
You know what I mean?
They know what men want. Men know what men want,
right.
Which is like beefy muscles, cut abs.
Not your type, I guess. Yeah, I guess. Is that what men want? Okay.
That's what men want. The men think that women want what actually men want.
Yeah, I mean, some women just want to be smothered.
This is true.
In the most loving way.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, Tom Hardy has taken up, 9.56 seconds.
What's with you and the fucking clock today? I'm late one time, and now you're clock watching. You of all people.
I'm just wondering if 10 minutes with Tom Hardy is Tom Hardy's tops. He's a lovely actor. Go see all of his movies.
I'll say no more.
I'm glad they're trying to get him back.
I was also talking about Eric Bana, but that's fine.
No, it was a great talk.
Eric Bana.
Stop being defensive. What are you, a Scorpio? All of a sudden? Jeez. Gotta look at your progress chart again.
Oh my God, we have so many people here today.
We do?
Yeah, well, it's just all these lovely folks. I don't know why you guys waste your time, but I'm so grateful you do.
There's Angela promoting the live. Making us grow by the word. Yeah, it's great to see everybody, of course. Let me see. What else have I got? I got some stuff. I got to check it all out.
I have to ask you, if we Okay, so Judge Liman has set a hearing for the 1st of June.
Yes.
So do you think that his decision is imminent, like next day, or what? What do you think his turnaround is going to be?
Well, I don't know. No, I mean, I wouldn't say eminent within a day of like June 2nd by any chance. But I think that he's going to make a decision. I think it does show that he's not going to dismiss it based on that, the request to do so by Wayfair parties or them trying to minimize, the exposure. It sounds like he's more it sounds like he'll hear arguments about what limitations should be in place in terms of consideration. But I think they're getting hit. I think that's sort of what I'm gleaning from it.
Let's see if we can determine which side he's leaning on based on what sort of information he wants, okay? Okay, so check this out. So this is Judge Liman has posted this notice. It's an order, right? He's like summoning them to...
Hear ye.
Okay. Defendant Blake Lively moves for fees, costs, and damages under California Civil Code Section 47.1. The court will receive argument and letter briefs on the following questions. Okay? Let's see if we can figure out where he's going with this. Assuming, without deciding, he puts in parentheses, that an application by a prevailing defendant for relief under California Civil Code 47.1b, and she's the prevailing defendant because
she was being sued by him.
She was being sued by him in a retaliatory defamation lawsuit, and she prevailed in getting it thrown out of court. Okay, correct. So she's the prevailing defendant.
I'm sure that's confused a few people out there.
Yeah, because she's the plaintiff, obviously. But in this situation, she is a defendant because they sued her in a retaliatory lawsuit, and she prevailed in the court agreeing with her that it was. Okay? Assuming without deciding that an application by a prevailing defendant for relief under California Civil Code Section 47.1b may be made pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 54, which party bears the burden of proof of showing that the communication is privileged under Section 47.1a, including whether that burden differs depending on whether the application is for attorney's fees alone or also for treble and punitive damages, and whether the burden differs where Section 47.1b relief is sought through Rule 54 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. I'm sorry, that's not a question. There's no question mark, and I can't discern what this means.
No, you know what I'll do?
It's indecipherable.
Yeah, well, it's very legal, and so what I'll do is I'll read this top comment, which when Judge Liman orders
there's more,
dropped,
by the way, but not much.
Yeah, but it's kind of the same. I mean, I read it.
No, I know, but that was his own question. He said the parties may also address how that burden may be discharged.
Right.
He says by May 31st, 2026 at 5 p.m., each side may submit a single-space letter of no more than 2 pages with 12-point font and no footnotes. He's like, I don't want to read your bullshit. Limited to listing the cases that the party would like the court to review with quoting or explanatory parentheticals. The court will then hear arguments on June 1st, 2026 at 2 p.m. Eastern Time in the courtroom location. Argument will last 1 hour with each side allocated 1 half hour. Wow. So he's like, I don't have time for your shit.
So it ends with court has some interesting conversation going on about it. In the comment section, I'll read some of them. This comes from Born Rabbit 7577. And then they seem to know a little bit about what they're talking about. But basically them and Deanne, right? Mm-hmm. I generally think reading tea leaves about how a judge will rule is hard, they said. That said, I do think that this is an indication that Liman is not planning to dismiss the 47.1 based on technical grounds, i.e. the extraterritorial or constitutional arguments raised by Wayfair parties. If he were, this would be a complete waste of time for both parties in the court, as if he dismisses on those grounds. None of the questions he's asking here are relevant. Since this is a matter of first impression of a California state law, this is the interesting part of all of this moment. Judge Liman is on a federal level. He's not going to set California precedent.
Right.
But on a federal level, he's setting a precedent, right? So since this is a matter of first impression of a California state law, I don't think Liman would be inclined to address these issues in dicta. Do you know what dicta is?
In dicta,
No,
doesn't that mean
he
like...
says in and dicta. I don't know. It's 2 words.
Yes, I know,
Okay.
but that's like in spoken arguments, I think.
I thought it was like something dirty.
Maybe it's like his ruling or something. Dicta would be speaking,
Yeah, of course.
but
In dicta.
I don't know what the legal term is. Fucking
In
Latin.
dicta refers to a judge's incidental remarks, observations, or hypothetical scenarios included in a written opinion.
I got it.
So like at all. I thought it was so funny there. In dicta, where are you? Lost my spot, didn't I? Okay, so this buttressed by, or buttressed? How do you say?
Buttressed.
Buttressed by the fact that there is absolutely no time pressure on Liman. So even if he were still considering those arguments, I don't think he'd have requested briefing oral arguments. And then, yeah, and then there's some conversation, like some person said something about like the California shit. Somebody was like, California must be real happy about a New York judge. And then somebody set that person straight with saying, federal judges interpret state law all day. It's what they do.
Yeah.
So kind of put that to note. So, and then there were some comments about whether or not there was something to the timeline. Everything's in such brevity.
Yeah. A half hour for each side?
Yeah.
That's no time at all.
Well, it's interesting.
I mean, I just spent a half hour,
Well, we're shit
talking
talking
about Tom Hardy.
Well, you didn't though. That was only 10 minutes. See what I'm saying? Like you can get a lot in.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so there's some interesting comments. I won't read them all to you because, go check it out on it.
Well, so like I find I'm struggling to decipher what it is he's requesting. I know that he wants to know what laws they're citing for precedent and how they're meaning to apply those laws to
right, because it's never been done before, so it's a very
Right.
interesting situation.
But other than that, I don't really understand.
So I do agree with this person. I don't think there's a dismissal coming up out of this based on technical or any other grounds.
But there could be, though. I mean, he could be asking for all this before he decides that it's actually not his ball to carry,
Here's the thing. It would be a very strange thing for him to do because there's not just the considerations that this person put in, but a judge would consider the expense. So a judge would think about the burden.
Yes, I also think that what he's previously written about Blake Lively's situation with this Justin Baldoni lawsuit against her is very telling about how he feels.
Yeah.
Like he seemed to agree with her that it was very offensive, and that he understood that it was a retaliatory lawsuit.
Well, this is the thing about why, I'm optimistic for Blake Lively in this one, because in all of the, what we'll call the legal crippling of this case, right? Which it started with Baldoni's lawsuit being thrown out. When you don't have a counter suit, it's already on shaky ground to some extent, at least, right? Because obviously one side of the story is absolutely, incredible, right? According to the judge. But when he dismisses 10 of 13 of Blake Lively, he, while opining on a few of the incidents that she cites in her allegations, he basically said, "Look, man, a reasonable jury could find for you."
Yeah.
And he says that over and over again, and he
Right.
does so with by illustrating the evidence. So I think everything points to him wanting to do what he finds to be fair, and it was him who found what they did frivolous, not Blake Lively or her attorneys. So this is the thing. It's like, he's in a situation where, it's not like somebody else did this. It's not even like he couldn't even, for example, think like, oh, a jury got it wrong, right? Or whatever, or the jury already decided the matter because the jury found for her anyway, and now she's still filing for frivolous. Like, there's nothing outside the judge and the judge's own words that is relevant to that lawsuit and the frivolity of it. That always gets me. Frivolity.
Oh, Deanne clarified this for me. That's how the legal issue is framed. There's no question mark in legal prose. They never have a question mark in legal prose?
Everything is a question.
He said, let me see.
It makes sense. I don't think I've seen questions.
I know. I just think it's odd.
And, we can believe Deanne. She's a lawyer.
I agree with Deanne. Like, that obviously is how it is. The court will receive argument and letter briefs on the following questions. But then they're not questions. I mean, I get it.
Everything is a question, Angela.
Everything's so different. Like, if you want to be a lawyer, you have to like step into this completely alternate.
Yeah, you got to learn the language of law.
Yeah.
It's definitely a language. It's kind of a pain in the ass, really.
Yeah, I knew, I lived in California where it's one of the I don't know how many states there are, but one of the states that allows you to just study and then take the bar exam. I think you study and then you can get mentored, but you don't actually have to go to a university to become a lawyer. Yeah. California is one of those places. And I knew a guy who was just like, high school graduate GED guy who was like just studying his ass off to try to become a lawyer. And it was really adorable because he kept mispronouncing things because he was just reading. He wasn't listening to a person who knows how to pronounce legal terms.
Yeah, happens to me all the time. I read more than I listen to. And...
Yeah, happens to everybody like that. Mm-hmm. Anyway, he was like, oh, yeah, for sure. It's just, he thought that there was, the rationale for having everything in Latin is that it doesn't change. But like the English language, any other language will change all the time. And so the rationale is that if you have these terms in Latin, then you know what they mean all the time forever. Because it's a dead language and like it's always just going to mean these things, right? But he was like, it's a little excessive. He was like, it's kind of a barrier. They try to make these barriers to sort of like, create an environment where you have to be a product of these elite schools and be brought up in the system, like basically survive the hazing ritual of this education in order to become a lawyer, He was like, I see that.
Deanne said that it's a whole new way of thinking, that they program you.
Yeah, they must. I have the same suspicion about doctors having to pass organic chemistry because you shouldn't need to pass organic chemistry unless you're a chemist or a pharmacist. But and I understand doctors have to understand pharmacy practice and drugs and stuff. But it's just that every single person who ever wants to be like, I don't know, like any kind of doctor or nurse has to pass organic chemistry. Maybe I'm just bitter because I couldn't pass it.
I mean, you could have. You just had to keep going.
Oh, I took it twice. It's really difficult. You get in the first half of organic chemistry and you're like, hey, I got this. It's hard. I'm studying, but
everyone's freaking out about nothing.
And then there's the halfway point, halfway through your course where they're like, okay, now you're ready for the real shit.
Now you have to get smart.
And the real shit is impossible to understand. For me, anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I can relate.
Yeah.
What with my academic background. Let me see. Our scientist just said that to you that it's like that for every industry. It's true. The valuable part of my BSc wasn't the knowledge; it was the vocabulary and the method of thinking. The information is just the way that it was delivered. Oh yeah, I get that. The information was just. I love all this about everything. Like I love going through this is what astrology does, right? It's a language that you eventually have to learn, and it has all these rules, and they're weird rules. They're totally different than anything and it's a language expressed through a native tongue. So it has this weird sort of Neptunian, existence, because is it a language? But it really is.
Math is like this too, where like you don't recognize how complex it is until when you're a beginner, where you're like, okay, math is math, whatever, and like you can climb up and be really good, but it's not until you get to like calculus where you're like, oh shit, this is like a whole framework for like how the universe works. Like this is a lot more complex and has a lot
ones and zeros. We're all ones and zeros.
Yeah. Then it gets into physics, and like it's like completely all intertwined. But when you're a beginner, everything seems really simple because you haven't learned yet how complex it is.
we're going to be reading this. You're going to be reading this papal paper and
The papal paper.
the papal paper, and I was we were talking about like, the sort of situation of like, respectfully disagreeing with the theological or most of the theological expressions of what this guy has to say, and and I just got this book today on it's basically the tarot and the Kabbalah. It was written about 40 years ago. It's like super badass so far as I can tell. I've only read the
But that's like
introduction
a
and
religious
couple
document too, right?
well, it's a textbook more, but it's like but it's about very highly spiritual things.
Yeah.
And in it, he just talks. He sort of mentions, which I thought was just really insightful. But he was just like, because this is something I believe. He basically inferred the spiritual pathway that exists innately in sort of the great prophets, which are just no different than like I'm reading the Tao Te Ching right now, which is Lao Tzu. I've been reading it for 30 years, but I'm back into it. And, and this, of course, was just a man. He's not a god or a prophet or anything. He was just a man who wrote some poems that changed the world. And so, but he fundamentally is the same thing in terms of, how everything was once simple. Like basically what this guy points out is that Christianity was this simple thing. It was a very simple doctrine that a man could stand on a corner and tell you about in a conversation, and that you can walk away philosophically sound if you chose to pursue it.
He's
There's
like,
a lifetime.
Hey, bud, have you ever heard of the golden rule?
Yeah, right. Right, yeah. Because there's a lifetime of pursuit. But it doesn't, and like this is what I love about Lao Tzu and the whole Tao Te Ching is that it's like 81 poems, some of them 4 or 5 lines only. Many of them under 15 lines on the whole page. And yet there's this like profound, it's a profound experience. Every time I've read it, it was a profound experience. And you can
What
read
part
them.
of the Bible is like that? It's like Psalms is like
Yeah, Psalms was very. There's so many parts of the Bible that I was like this. Holy fuck! Like there's so many parts of the Bible that is both moving and terrifying and suspenseful and thrilling and
I really admire
philosophically like engaging.
I really admire that you put yourself through that, like reading that book, because I certainly was never going to. And like, I just think that it's really amazing to be open to knowledge enough that you're gonna. It's an extraordinarily divisive work.
Can be.
Right? Like, is there another book that exists that's more divisive than that one?
So I read it because
Like people agree with it or
wanted to be
disagree
able
with
to I wanted to be able to talk with people about it.
Yeah,
And
this is
while
what I
I'm
admire.
certainly
about you.
not like any kind of like I don't know shit about the Bible, bro. I read it once. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I read it once, and so I was able from that to glean, my own, extrapolate my own sort
I
of
just
feelings
feel like
about it. And
people generally have made it so heavy. Like you can't study it without believing in what you're saying, it seems.
I don't know.
Not you, but like anybody. It just seems like people aren't just like,
I
yeah.
don't think that's true. I think
I read it and studied it. I learned it instead of like devoting your entire life to it and changing who you are fundamentally.
I see what you mean. I think that you can study it theologically. You can sit there and kind of break down the timelines, break down the authors, sort of do the whole like extracting of everything that we know that results in the text before you, specific to that text, whether it's King James, for example, or the New Testament, or the modern, whatever they call it. So I think to that extent, you can certainly, but yes, you're not going to master anything probably in this lifetime anyway. It doesn't matter what you choose. Mm-hmm. It's not, especially in a world where you've got to provide for yourself and you've got there's no like sitting in a log cabin somewhere near a fishing spot where you're going to be able to.
You don't think you can master things?
I think you can gain levels of mastery.
I think you have mastered already guacamole.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm flattered. It's a good guac.
Dale made guacamole for dinner tonight.
Yeah, it's good guac. So, listen, I just think these are the things, I think that, I do think that this writer is extraordinarily right about the spiritual pathways that each thing has. Doesn't matter what it is. Whether it's fucking astrology, which I think is really like the backbone and bare bones of most spirituality, or and again, I think it appears in everything. It's just the most, and it's been burnt to the ground and cannot die. So it's just I think astrology is like sort of, the gateway to it all. But from all of that, you can create these, and it's because it's so complex. Like astrology truly is such a complex thing.
It is interesting though, when you're like not a subscriber of a religion, to read, like today I'm going to start at the intro. I think there's like 5 chapters in this Pope's Encyclical.
Yeah.
5 or 6 or something, but there's also an introduction that I wanted to read because I just wanted to be thorough.
Mm-hmm.
But like he starts out talking, using this like very religious terminology. Obviously, he's the Pope. It's not surprising. But it's so strange to read something from somebody who is absolutely devoted to this one religion. And to me, it just seems like he's talking about characters in a book. Like it doesn't have any of that same weight to me because I'm not a member of that club.
Yes. Yes.
And so,
none of that will have any weight on me, of course. And like, I look at these all things so differently because I just look at them, I think I've been, like it's the last 6-7 years or whatever, where I've been once again sort of delving deep into my own spirituality through my own path, doing my own thing, learning it through the ways that I find most resonant with me. I've recognized that a lot of what I might be judgmental over when it comes to other religions has very little to do with the spirituality and the origins of these things, and much more to do with the people who have used these things for other means, whether it's political, financial, whatever it might be.
this is true.
And this is like the real problem that I think, I would sit there and like be like, oh, Jesus, don't give me fucking Jesus. But then I think about Jesus, and again, having read that, and I actually read the New Testament a couple of times, it's actually really good.
But it is difficult to sort of see as a authority figure a position of power that we now fully know is responsible for like covering up a shit ton of crime and abuse.
Well,
and so like it's just really difficult where you're like, oh, so you're the moral authority? Like, are you the moral authority, or was the guy before you the moral authority? Like, are you doing anything to right the wrongs of this huge organization that you're the leader of?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just learning that it's what people put on him, not what he put on people.
The Pope?
Jesus.
Oh.
It's what people put on him, not what he put on people.
I was talking about the Pope.
The Pope is look, I mean, so it's a scholarly organization.
Yeah.
It's an organization where the scholarly in their field rise to the top.
Yeah.
And they are the ones considered closest to God, closest to Peter is probably how it goes, but I'm not Catholic, so I'm not exactly sure, but they have that sort of proximity. I know that Papa Leo, I believe was his name, went to Constantine, and this is when Constantine, when Rome was, when the papacy had like multiple popes at
the same time.
Yeah, and
he
this was before Rome united under the Catholic Church.
Yeah,
and
that's interesting.
This Pope, well, so Constantine. Here's what I read. This is my interpretation of what I've read, and I don't remember where I got it. It was a lot of years ago. But basically, Constantine was like, holy fuck, I need to win this war, but I don't have enough to win with. And then there was this big, large, growing sect of Christians that was otherwise underground because they were a pagan empire. And he was like, fuck, I'm going to go get them. And so many scholars believe that when he looked up into the sky and saw the image of the cross and heard a voice that said in some substance, fight under this symbol and you will win and you will unite Rome, that all of that was bullshit.
He was just trying to.
Yeah, he came out with his fucking story. He was Donald Trump.
He was like, I just need to convince the poors to take up arms.
Correct.
How do I do that?
He was Donald fucking Trump, bro. He was like, hey, these guys need some fixing.
Mm-hmm.
I need them to go out and sacrifice their physical bodies to give me what I want. Let's make a deal. And one of the parts of the deal was that the then Pope, or one of them, but the one who had the most authority and ability to influence the masses of Christianity, for whatever that is in terms of actual numbers, I don't know, said, I will deliver them if you make me the only Pope and put my seat next to Peter.
He's like, the only thing I need from you is like a really big hat. Like really big.
I want the biggest hat.
Like I want like a hat that's like taller than me.
Like, look, we have 14-foot ceilings and I need to duck. I'm 5'3".
A hat like you've never seen.
The biggest and most beautiful hat adorned in gold. So he made this fucking deal, and Constantine was like, deal. They shook hands. He delivered the Christians delivered Rome, and Constantine kept putting pagan gods on his coins.
I've noticed that this Pope doesn't wear the hat.
He probably has moments where he wears the hat. Dude, I was in Rome. This is when Don's Plum, I was skipping out on the premiere of Don's Plum at Berlin and went to Rome instead in a last minute decision. You can read about it in the book behind you. All you know about that. I'm not talking about it anymore. I'm going to change the whole
This
show.
is for the future, for the people who want to hear us do the reading.
So the Pope was there to do whatever. I don't know. He was doing one of the things in the church or whatever. And I got shaken down by the guys dressed in the funny costumes that Michelangelo fucking designed. Did you ever see those things? You got the big puffy, stripy things.
No.
I'll show it to you. It looks like
they look like circus
it
performers.
looks like
right?
something that Tim Burton came up with.
So weird.
And they're walking all over. You're like, holy fuck, that's your work clothes, huh? Made me think of the.
But the church says no gays.
Did you ever see? Were you alive when McDonald's had boat hats with little nets?
Yes.
Oh God, I craved them. As a kid, all I wanted to do was wear the boat hat with.
They're like made of paper.
net.
They're disposable.
I found out later that it was a stupid thing, but as this little kid, it was just like, those are the greatest hats. I just wanted one.
You were into hats when you were a kid?
No, just that hat.
Did you ever go through like a fedora phase in your teens?
No, I never wore hats. I wanted to wear.
You never wore hats?
No.
Well, you're
I
wearing.
mean, I wore
one now.
caps. I wore these. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've worn these my whole life, more or less. As you can see.
Yeah.
In the book behind me. Yeah, I wear them. I'd wear them to bed if I could, probably.
I never wore hats. I never.
It's my
went through-
toupee. Toupee.
Never went through a hat phase. I always liked my widow's peak. So.
Well, you've got such beautiful hair, and you're much better looking than me, so there's that. Anyway, so enough about all that. I was just pointing out that while we might disagree with whatever, the theological ends here are, I recognize that Christianity is a path and a means to whatever form of enlightenment one might seek. In the same way that I can achieve that through astrology and meditation and the Kabbalah and fucking I Ching and so on and so forth. And the Tao Te Ching, which is probably the thing that resonates with me more than any other thing.
Whoa, sorry guys. That's probably noisy. Yeah.
Melissa is here. What's going on? Alyssa? Holy shit. Hi, everyone. It's been a while since I've actually been on the live, but I watch the lives after usually on the way home from work. Makes the highway much less boring. Well, that's exciting. Well, we do miss you. And it's nice to know that you're with us. I forget, about those who listen to us when we're not live. And I shouldn't, because you guys are my friends. Happiness in Your Life is here. I was going to see her says organic chemistry was like learning an entire language within the 3 months.
Oh my God, it's
that
so
bore
fast.
no resemblance to any other language.
This is why it's like a hazing ritual, because they make you go through it so fast. And then for some reason, halfway through the class, they just completely ramp it up into fucking warp drive.
She failed it once.
Yeah.
Passed it the next time.
There's not
through.
even enough time to study it all between the fucking quizzes and the tests.
I did not have the fortitude as a young, back then, it's so weird. When we talk about astrology and we talk about things like Saturn, and when you sort of defy Saturn, Saturn's like, okay, fuck you. That was me and Saturn and learning. I was like, can we just get to the fucking point, please? And Saturn's like, go away. And so I kind of kept myself dumb, you know, to put it harshly.
Well, organic chemistry is mostly like puzzles. So
Well, I'm just saying that when I
to
fail
learn.
or when I go through them or when I failed or when
Yeah.
I got held back
Right.
for anything or for any reason, I'm not talking about being held back in a grade, although that did happen to me once. I am talking about being just held back in progressing in the classroom. Like a lot of the times I found myself sitting in classrooms going, I don't know where you guys are even
No, I
in
know.
this
Me
world.
too.
Like,
I
I don't
didn't-
know what is going on here.
I didn't
Like,
have that
felt
experience
alone.
until I got to community college, right? Like, obviously, that kind of shit doesn't happen in high school.
It
You
did
know.
to me.
But I've always struggled with like math and science. It's always been a thing that's been difficult. So I hired the tutors. I fucking watched the videos. I did like the tutoring courses, like to self-study. I like got 3 different kinds of textbooks. I would like really applied myself because I was like, I need to fucking pass this shit. And I still couldn't. I was like, man, how are there any doctors?
It's so brutal. And when you think about like where there are places in the world where doctors kind of are just average livings.
Yeah, I know.
Like the UK, you don't make a ton of money in the UK as a doctor.
Maybe my problem was that I didn't cheat.
At least that's my understanding.
Maybe a lot of people are cheating, and that's what I never really picked up on.
Cheating? Cheaters?
I mean, maybe that's what people do. I don't know.
You know how we did a vote for reading the papal papers?
The paper papers.
And we had 1 no. I'm obsessed with like, okay, who's here and who's not?
Oh yeah, I know.
It's
I
the
feel bad
stupidest thing.
though. I feel bad for the no.
I know,
where they were like, "Don't do it,"
Yeah, I
and
know.
we're gonna do it.
They were just sitting there going, fuck. It's like Cosmic Urgency. Who does not come to our show anymore? But it was like him and his alien.
Maybe he does in secret.
He might come in secret, I suppose. I don't know.
Speaking of in secret,
I don't know.
nobody knows the reason why tech billionaire Peter Thiel is relocating to Argentina.
I think it's because he likes to eat testicles.
Because that's what they eat in Argentina.
They eat testicles in Argentina, and I think he's like, I like testicles. And they're
He,
probably not as well done in Texas.
Apparently, he has cited concerns about the direction that the U.S. the future and shared ideology with leadership. And I'm like, okay, so you're gonna like deliberately fuck everything up
Then leave.
in America and then
then
be like,
leave.
you know what? I don't like the way this is going.
Real Thomas
Just
Paine, this guy.
split. But it's really funny that he chose Argentina. This guy says, I've never heard of people fleeing to Argentina before. It seems like a unique thing that nobody has ever done before in a world history, you know?
Well, I'm sure someone has.
Well, do you know what I'm referencing?
No.
After the World War, all the Nazis fled to escape persecution.
To Argentina?
Yes.
Oh my God, it's Nazi Island?
Yes.
Oh my God.
There is a huge German population to this day
Is that
in
true?
Argentina. Yes. Have you ever noticed in the World Cup that all the Argentinians, I mean, there's a lot of white people because it's a colonized continent.
Yeah.
But in all those Latin American countries, but Argentina, like their whole soccer team is white.
I think I have recognized that in the past.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, huh. Okay, I think I know what happened. And my condolences.
Anyway, so it's funny. But a lot of people are making suggestions about what could possibly be the reason. Some of them are really doomsaying suggestions. Like they say that if a nuclear war happened, that the northern hemisphere would be fucked, but the south of the southern hemisphere would be largely, stable. Isn't that scary?
Yeah.
Like, what does this like billionaire, like tech leader
Lots of plane
know
tickets to
that
Brazil.
we don't know? Or is he just like moving to Argentina because that's the next place that he's gonna fuck up with his like tech oligarchy? Because like the U.S. government has been sending billions of dollars to the leadership in Argentina, so maybe they're setting up like a whole
Yeah, well, and even more interesting is
Scam
that for those who don't know, JD Vance is a Teal project,
yes.
and JD Vance has terminated his presidency exploratory
Committee, yeah.
He
So
decommissioned them.
apparently he's no longer seeking.
He won't be seeking office, the office of the presidency.
Yeah, well, we don't know whether he just maybe he stopped the exploratory committee for president because he knows that Donald Trump is going to croak any day and that he'll just be president. So maybe that's why he stopped it.
Well, he would still be faced with an election eventually.
Yeah, after.
So I can't imagine because that committee is sort of a
But then
in
he'd be
part
the incumbent.
that committee is basically that committee is another word for go out and see how many people are going to give us money.
Yeah.
And nobody's going to give him money except Peter
Nobody.
Thiel.
No.
He's not getting the money.
Apparently, it was like they were duking it out. It was Peter Thiel's puppet J.D. Vance
Yeah.
versus Miriam Adelson's puppet Marco Rubio, and they think that Adelson won,
Yeah.
and that they want Marco Rubio to be the guy.
God. God help us all, bro.
But we're really good at spreading democracy wherever we go.
Just not very good at actually being democratic. It's a weird time to live here. It's definitely, the funny thing about being, an immigrant here is it is not what I thought.
It's not what we thought either.
America is not what I thought. Like when I was here, I was like, oh, fuck all you all. I'm in the greatest country on earth. And it's not that this country isn't great because it has so much greatness in it. And I haven't left, but it's definitely not what I thought it was.
This person, Pedro Gonzalez, writes for the Americas. Peter Thiel is cooking up a plan B for fleeing the United States and hunkering down in Argentina, which I hope is an indicator of how bad he thinks it's going to get for the new right and how dramatically J.D. Vance has failed as a viable political vehicle for Thiel's agenda. People are like reminding everybody that he isn't really like attached to the U.S. anyway because he grew up in apartheid South Africa. So it's not like he's homegrown anyway. It's fucking weird.
It is weird.
But yeah, so people they're like the bad predictions is that he's fleeing because there's certain disaster that we are all going to be like sitting ducks for. Or the good predictions is that he's fleeing because his diabolical plans actually aren't going to work out the way that he wanted to and he's going to try in a new place.
Yeah.
Who knows?
And you also don't know that he's not himself mentally unstable. Like we don't know where he's at in his head at all, He might be taking cognitive tests every few months himself and not knowing.
He does look really sweaty in every interview. Seems like a super anxious guy.
But seriously, though, you don't know where his mind is. His mind might be completely broken.
Yeah, definitely sociopathic. I don't know otherwise. Anywho.
Peter Thiel.
In the last political news that I have for you, a federal judge ordered that the Kennedy Center has to remove Donald Trump's name from the facade, the website, the letterhead, and the official materials.
Watch him blow it up. Watch him just like
he is
roll a tank
he's
out.
He's already raging.
Like, he's like, here's how we're going to remove it. Everybody out of the building. And then this tank rolls up and aims it right at the Trump part and then just blows like the most explosive device at it.
I know.
It's gone, fuck faces.
I'm hoping that this is going to be like the final straw where he like finally bursts a blood vessel in a really crucial part.
He's so
he
weird.
Gets so angry about this thing.
This is happening at the same time that they announced a $250 American bill with his
$250
a $250 bill with his fucking scowl on it.
Oh, for the 250th anniversary.
I guess so. He's so sure that America's 250th anniversary and him being president is some correspondence to greatness in some way. There's something correspondingly anointing him in some way as one of the greats, if not the greatest of all time.
He's not wrong. Everything is all about him. It always was. So
it's so weird. It's so weird.
Anyway, he took an L today, which is great.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if he abides by. The thing about him and law is
here's what the judge said.
Fuck.
Congress gave the Kennedy Center its name, and only Congress can change it. So he has ordered that within the next 14 days, the president's name be removed from the facade and other areas, including digital signage and official materials. So there you go. Sorry, bro.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, for real.
He's the guy's weird, man. I forgot to mention on Wednesday, but Taylor Swift was in the news, and it was fun. It was like,
what happened?
I like how she gets like she finds ways to get in there, and like it's just not her like intending anything. She was she went to a basketball game with Trav,
Trav, as you know him.
Yeah, and some little dude was like, Travis Kelsey. You know, it was like one of those like old Coke commercials that they used to have where
Oh yeah, where
the
where
guy's
the
in the
athlete,
tunnel. He's in the tunnel and he fucking tosses them. They drink blah, 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 at the end of it.
a bottle of Coke.
A bottle of Coke after he gives him his jersey. And the kid's like, oh my God, it smells just like you. Taylor Swift, brought Trav's attention to the little guy so that he could shake his hand and meet him or whatever. And he did. And everyone just loved it.
So wholesome.
Because she's like, it was wholesome as fuck. It was very wifey too. There was a wifey tone to it, you know? Like, Trav, you pay attention. Trust me on this. Pay attention to your fans. They'll adore you to the point of dying for you.
It's such a wife thing to do, to be like, pay attention, you dumb piece of shit.
Yeah.
There's a kid that wants your attention.
It's an adorable video. I'm not going to lie. I fucking watched all 10 seconds of it
funny.
twice. Did you just time travel?
Did I time travel?
Just now.
No. I just
Okay.
took a sip of my water.
You didn't go back in time?
I keep off screen because I'm
Told me to
always-
shut up about Taylor Swift.
I don't want to be on camera when I drink. Isn't that weird? I have hang-ups about little dumb shit.
How's your reading voice?
My reading voice? I don't know. Do you think I sound papal?
I think, yeah.
Do
I think I'm ready to be mesmerized, hypnotized, baptized.
So the Vatican has a website, which I think is adorable.
Hey, they're with the times, man.
It's called the Holy See. SEE.
Where is it? Vatican City? Is it like .vc or something?
No, it's .va. Yeah, it's
.va.
their own. Okay, so this is called the Encyclical Letter Magnifica Humanitas.
I mean, I found out there's 1.4 billion. I think we talked about this last live. 1.4 billion Catholics. So yeah, they get their own domain.
What is Roman numeral XIV? Is that 14?
It's also a country. What's that?
Roman numeral XIV, is that 14?
XIV is 14.
Okay, cool. Magnifica Humanitas. I think in English that's magnificent humanity, maybe?
Sounds like something like, yeah, great humanity, amazing humanity.
Encyclical letter of His Holiness Pope Leo XIV on safeguarding the human person in the time of artificial intelligence.
Sounds important.
Shall I begin?
Please.
Okay. So here we go. There's a table of contents. So the introduction has the res novae of our time, 2 biblical images, building for the common good, and remaining human. All right, here we go.
Such a great last title.
Remaining human.
Yeah, in the face
know.
of AI.
I think it's so dope that we have an American pope to really distill this for Americans.
It's particularly
it's-
important because
It's mainly an American problem that
Right,
we're
well-
foisting onto the world.
the worst part of the problem isn't AI itself, because that was coming. And if America was leading the way, I don't know, but maybe they were. But AI was coming. I would argue that China might have been leading the way, but we don't know. I don't know what China's up to, but I know they're wildly advanced over there. So, in terms of the technology, so. But what is important, though, is Donald Trump passed legislation, signed into legislation, the so-called Big Beautiful Bill, wherein AI was given a pass from government oversight for 10 years. And this is where
That's not good.
it's horrible. This is part of, I think, what he's talking about.
I don't think that
so
there's
that he's an American pope.
couldn't possibly be a justification for that in any industry imaginable.
That is a gift from a president
Yeah.
to some billionaires. That's what that is.
Yeah, that is absolutely. We're planning on doing some really criminal shit, and we just don't want to be held to account for it.
Donald Trump has made $1 billion since being in office this time in stocks, just about $1 billion. It's tons of AI stock that he's trading.
Yeah.
So these guys were like, hey, bro, give us no regulations, buy these shares. Or they even gifted him. Who knows? Fucking corruption is everywhere at this moment. Everywhere.
Should I begin?
Yeah.
Okay. Introduction. Number 1, humanity created by God. This is the Pope talking. He's going to talk like the Pope, okay?
All right. Well, I'm listening.
Humanity created by God in all its grandeur is today facing a pivotal choice. either to construct a new Tower of Babel or to build the city in which God and humanity dwell together. Each
Pretty
generation,
fucking cool. Just saying, like, from a fucking, that's cool. It's a
he's
cool
like, the
start.
stakes are super fucking high, guys.
That's awesome. The way he put that is awesome.
Do you know the story of the Tower of Babel?
Yeah, of course.
I don't. I mean, I understand how it's referenced in, like, media, but I don't.
Yeah, it was about, I mean, I don't want to articulate it because I know I'll just fuck it up, but it's a tower that that eventually
A bunch of sinning happens.
Well, what happens is it created all the languages. Tower of Babel just created all the languages to separate and divide and conquer, divide and conquer, basically.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean it's been so many fucking years. So somebody in chat can straighten me out if you don't know it, but it was foundational biblical narrative. It describes humanity's attempt to build a city and a massive heaven-reaching tower to halt their unchecked ambition and hubris. God confused their languages and scattered them across the earth, serving as an etiological explanation for the origin of different languages.
That's a perfect reference for this.
Yeah.
That Pope, he knows his stuff.
Yeah, he's got that Pope smarts.
I bet he keeps it in his big hat.
Yeah, he's got that brain, a big brain. He's got to put a big hat on it.
All right, he says, each generation inherits the task of shaping its own era, of guiding history to become a place where the dignity of every person is safeguarded, justice is promoted, and fraternity is made possible. Yet every era also runs the risk of creating an inhumane and more unjust world. Whenever humanity is in danger of marring its true identity, we Christians lift our eyes to the incarnate God, knowing that it is only in the mystery of the Word made flesh that the mystery of humanity truly becomes clear. In Jesus Christ, excuse me. That was just my the demon possession. Put a lump in my throat. He goes, this humanity in its grandeur becomes the way, the truth, and the life, opening the path for each of us to grow toward fullness. And so he continues. This next paragraph is very Jesus-y, okay? Mm-hmm. Founded on Christ, the living stone, we experience the powerful and mysterious action of the Holy Spirit, and we believe that every authentic human effort to cooperate with him for the good will be blessed by our Heavenly Father, in whom we place our hope. For this reason, we can diligently contribute to every initiative that builds a more just world, and we can call others to collaborate in promoting the integral development of every human being. We wish to engage in dialogue with all men and women of our time, with whom we share in the events, questions, and aspirations of humanity. Together with them, we seek to identify new paths for the common good and for promoting a dignified life for all. Indeed, openness to dialogue is an integral part of the Church's vocation because, constituted in Christ as a sacrament of communion with God and of the unity of the entire human race, she recognizes history as the place where the gospel challenges and directs human experience.
By the way, I just want to interject and say that as soon as we get past this, which is a couple paragraphs, he gets into the straight up smoke show of what's going on.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really seem to have a lot of reference to his religion.
I mean, already he's making some really good points.
That's true.
It is very, I think he does a really good job of making, whatever. He departs from the biblical stuff pretty soon.
He does.
In this spirit, Pope Leo the 13th, Roman numerals, Pope Leo the 13th published his encyclical Rerum Novarum in 1891, the 135th anniversary of which we celebrate with deep gratitude this year. With that document, my beloved predecessor gave impetus to the reflection on society, the economy, and politics, which is now known as the social doctrine of the Church. When some objected that the Church should not waste energy on worldly matters, but instead focus on communicating the message of eternal life, Leo XIII responded with realism and wisdom, saying that the proclamation of the gospel cannot overlook the concrete lives of people. Many decades have passed since then, and the magisterium, pastors, theologians, and faithful have continued to reflect on social issues in the light of the gospel. Today, the social doctrine of the Church is a legacy of wisdom, where we find principles for thought, criteria for discernment and judgment, and concrete guidelines for action. Founded on sacred scripture and tradition, and in engagement with the sciences, it helps us clearly interpret the challenge of the present and identify appropriate ways for living out a clear Christian witness with joy and in service to the world. It is not an inert set of concepts, but a living corpus of truth that safeguards and interprets humanity's vocation to a full and just life. I therefore wish to add my own voice to this living tradition, invoking the help of the Spirit of wisdom, who has dwelt in the world since its beginning. And he cites Proverbs for that. The res
You
nove
want to
of
read
our...
the Proverbs? They're wonderful.
What?
Read the Proverbs. Or he just
No.
He just gives them, catalogs them.
He's citing Proverbs 8:22 through 31. He just cites it. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm not skipping anything. The res nove of our time. While Leo XIII spoke in his time of new things, rerum novarum, today we cannot limit ourselves simply to repeating his insightful teachings. Instead, we must ask God for the wisdom to interpret the great trends of our time, particularly technological advances. In recent years, it has become increasingly evident how rapidly and profoundly digitization, artificial intelligence, and robotics are transforming our world. Technology should not be considered in itself as a force antagonistic to humanity. On the contrary, it has formed part of our history since the beginning as a profoundly human reality linked to the autonomy and freedom of man. Over the centuries, technological development has significantly improved the living conditions of humanity. At the same time, each phase of progress has also revealed the ambiguity of tools that can cause harm when not oriented toward the good. Today, however, we find ourselves facing a new situation. The power and prevalence of emerging technologies are interwoven into the fabric of daily life, shaping decision-making processes and deeply affecting the collective imagination. Never has humanity had such power over itself. New technologies open up a horizon extending in directions that are imaginable but not yet fully predictable. This complicates the assessment of their potential impact and the long-term effects they may have on both the dignity of individuals and the common good. It now falls to us to face the challenges of our time with clarity of thought and responsibility. It is necessary to establish adequate regulatory tools capable of upholding justice and curbing the distorting effects of technological power. Nevertheless, the issue is not limited to regulation. As Pope Francis warned, we must realistically ask ourselves who holds this power today and how they use it. It must also be recognized that... This is a quote from Pope Francis, okay. I'm assuming. It must also be recognized that nuclear energy, biotechnology, information technology, knowledge of our DNA, and many other abilities which we have acquired have given those with the knowledge and especially the economic resources to use them an impressive dominance over the whole of humanity and the entire world. In the past, it was largely up to the state to guide and direct innovation. Today, however, the main drivers of development are private, often transnational parties that are endowed with resources and the capacity to intervene that surpass those of many governments. Technological power thus takes on an unprecedented, predominantly private aspect, which makes it even more challenging to discern, govern, and direct such power toward the common good. For this reason, it is necessary to begin a shared discernment process for identifying the spiritual and cultural roots of ongoing transformations. If we focus only on the contingencies, we risk letting the succession of emergencies dictate the direction of our path. We're living through a rapid phase of transition, a change of era, in which, while some are vying for the future of new technologies and others dedicate themselves on reflecting on the matter, most people are watching and waiting, observing from afar and merely hoping for the best. For this very reason, crucial questions impose themselves on our conscience and can no longer be avoided. Where are we going? Toward what goal do we wish to orient ourselves? What direction should we choose as a people and as a human community? 2 biblical images. In order to answer these questions and discern how to navigate responsibly the era of AI, I would like to bring to mind 2 scenes from the Bible. The construction of the Tower of Babel, referencing Genesis 11:1 through 9. And
the very first book.
And the rebuilding of the walls of Jerusalem, referencing... What does NEH stand for? He's abbreviating.
What? NEH? I don't
Yeah,
know.
what book of the Bible is NEH?
I don't know.
Whatever, that one, 2 through 6. Okay? So the construction of the Tower of Babel and the rebuilding of the walls of Jerusalem. Excuse me. The story of Babel appears in the book of Genesis at the origins of humanity immediately after the genealogies of Noah's sons. After settling in a plain in the land of Shinar, the people decided to build a city and a tower with its top in the heavens.
It's the book of Nehemiah.
Okay, thanks. Fearing being scattered across the earth, they sought to guarantee stability and power for themselves, and above all, to make a name for themselves. It was an impressive feat: a single language, a single technology, a single direction. However, the project concealed a profound danger. It was a project conceived without reference to God, supported by a uniformity that eliminated diversity, and that chose homogenization over communion. When a city is built on pride and the claim to self-sufficiency, communication breaks down, languages are confused, and people no longer understand each other. The result is not unity, but dispersion.
It's so funny, like how they talk when he talks about pride. I can't help but think about like the art and the fucking gowns and the fucking costumes and the fucking like.
That's why he doesn't wear the big hat.
That's not pride. Do you know what I mean?
No, but he's definitely calling out.
He's like he's like the CEO of Burger King, isn't he?
No, but he's definitely calling out the tech oligarchs, bro. Okay, so listen.
Yeah.
This is the Pope. He says, Babel thus reveals the limits of any effort that, however grandiose, arises from self-affirmation, sacrifices human dignity for efficiency, and aspires to reach heavens without God's blessing. Do you see?
See if bombing. Yeah.
Feldbauming was the one that voted no. Don't read it. Sorry.
I'm out. I love this because this is what language is all about, right? Like, or the birth of language, the birth of speaking, you know, when he talks about Babel and the Tower of Babel, is that it's all about like taking a story, a mythological
I
tale.
I appreciate the mythology of it because it's obviously very applicable to this. They're constructing all of these things that affect everybody, completely isolated among themselves. It's only to benefit themselves. They don't give a shit about the rest of us, and this is why it's going to fail, according to the Pope. Okay, this next one. The book of Nehemiah, in turn, opens at a time of great vulnerability in the history of ancient Israel. After the Babylonian exile, a portion of the people returned to Jerusalem, but the city was still in ruins, the walls collapsed, and the gates burned. Nehemiah, a Jew in the service of the Persian king Artaxerxes, received news of the disastrous state of his ancestral city. This sounds like the premise of Star Wars, I must say. Before taking action...
myth is the basis for all story.
Yeah. Before taking action, he fasted, prayed, and interceded for the people. He then asked the king for permission to return to Jerusalem, and upon arriving, examined the destroyed areas in silence. He did not impose solutions from above. He convened the families, assigned each of them a section of the wall to rebuild, listened to their concerns, coordinated their efforts, and addressed any opposition. The narrative shows how the city is reborn, not through the initiative of one man, but through the shared responsibility of all. Men, women, priests, artisans, heads of households, and young people all play a part. It is an undertaking with God at the center, which rebuilds relationships before rebuilding with stones. Thus, ancient Jerusalem rediscovers a common language, not one of uniformity, but one of communion, namely the harmony that arises when all persons assume their own role and recognize that their strength comes from the Lord.
Nehemiah.
Nehemiah? In light of these two images...
Deanne says Nehemiah.
Nehemiah.
This was this is the thing about it. Like I said, I read the book. I read it 35, 40 years ago, whatever it was. I read it once. I never read it again. I totally forgot this name. Now I forgot this book.
He didn't share the phonetic pronunciation, so I'm just...
Deanne's
I'm trying to vibe with it. All right. Should I continue?
Yeah.
In light of these two images, the Holy Spirit challenges us today regarding our relationship with technology and the ongoing digital revolution. Scientific discoveries are talents entrusted to humanity so that they may bear fruit. And isn't that the story of Prometheus stealing fires from the gods? Technology has the power to heal, connect, educate, and protect our common home. But it can also divide, exclude, and generate new forms of injustice. In the abstract, technology in and of itself is not a solution to humanity's problems, just as it is not inherently evil. In practice, however, technology is never neutral, because it takes on the characteristics of those who devise, finance, and regulate and use it. Therefore, the primary choice is not between a yes or no to technology, but rather between constructing Babel or rebuilding Jerusalem, between a power that claims to dominate the heavens and a people who work together in the presence of God to rebuild the walls of fraternal coexistence. We must then...
This Pope is for the people.
The Pope is for the people. That's right. We must then avoid the Babel syndrome, namely the idolatry of profit that sacrifices the weak, a uniformity that neutralizes differences, and the pretense that a single language, even a digital one, can translate everything, including the mystery of the person, into data and performance. The risk of dehumanization, of building a future that excludes God and reduces the other to a means, is an ancient and ever-new temptation that today takes on a technical guise. Instead, let us choose the way of Nehemiah. And forgive me if I'm not pronouncing that right.
That's it. Nehemiah. That's exactly right.
Let us choose the way of Nehemiah, which highlights the importance of working together to make the city of God a safe place for returning exiles. Rebuilding today means recognizing that precisely from the plurality of voices and visions, which, even though they sometimes remind us of the confusion caused by the diversity of spoken languages, a bright possibility emerges. Indeed, this is the possibility of building together, of transforming diversity into a resource, and of making listening and dialogue the common ground upon which to cultivate justice and fraternity. Within this shared task, Christians discover their unique role of guiding actions toward God so that, in his light, pluralism does not dissipate into disorder, but instead, through the practice of synodality, it becomes the space in which humanity rediscovers its solid foundations and its final end. In the book of Revelations, John sees the New Jerusalem coming down out of heaven from God, citing Revelations 21:2, as a gift for all humanity. And this vision of grace...
Synodality, by the way, is the practice of journeying and working together in the church.
Through the practice of synodality, it becomes the space in which humanity rediscovers its solid foundations and its final end. The final end, I was like, oh... Oops. What do you mean?
Rooted in Greek, together, and path.
Should I continue?
Yeah.
Okay. In the book of Revelation, John sees the New Jerusalem coming down out of heaven from God. This is Revelations 21:2. As a gift for all humanity. And this vision of grace is an invitation for us Christians to work together in order to foster a peaceful, just, and dignified life in community with today's cities. Cities in quotes. Somebody was saying online, they were like, hey, the Pope just gave all the Christians who ever work in office jobs like a religious exemption for having to use AI.
That's great.
He's like, sorry, I can't defy the Pope.
The Pope says what the Pope says. I'm merely a student.
I have been given a dictum. Okay, building for the common good. Building a city founded on the common good implies, first and foremost, building on a firm relationship with God. It means recognizing that the truth of his love calls us to life in all its fullness. John 10:10. I don't know if that's John. It's abbreviated JN. And communion with him. Like St. Augustine, we too can say, you have made us for yourself, O Lord, and our heart is restless until it rests in you. Indeed, God has inscribed in our hearts a desire for happiness that embraces all the dimensions of life. The Church, in dialogue with the men and women of our time, recognizes the urgent need to safeguard and guide this aspiration toward its deepest truth. Secondly, building for the common good means accepting the limits and weakness of humanity without considering them an error to be corrected. And this is straight up in your face of Sam Altman and his fucking dehumanizing rhetoric, and Peter Thiel. They've both said that humanity is so flawed that they can do better. and that the children born today are never going to be as smart as their AI. Like, bro,
talk about missing the whole point.
missing the whole point. Read a book.
Like missing the whole fucking point of this entire
Oh my God.
what we're doing. You
Yeah.
fools. You're gonna die broke and absolutely devoid of any goddamn
Also, what is self-fulfilling prophecy? If you completely destroy education with your fucking AI slop, of course nobody's going to be able to like build any intelligence. you know?
Yeah, I mean, they thought that computers, I mean, you know, Google apparently started the Chromebook, which became an environmental disaster, by the way. But they created the Chromebook as a device that was going to, you know, help educate, like help the education process. And then, of course, now studies are showing that computers versus writing things down with like in cursive or printing or whatever you do, that the computer, or the process of taking computer notes and cutting and pasting and doing all the little tricks of the trade, ends up in dramatically reducing the retention rate of the things you're learning.
Yeah, it's also extremely like.
I was trying to put that the
it's
nicest
like-
possible way because I was going to like say a bunch of derogatory shit, but it prevents learning ultimately. It obscures it.
It's also like fascism 101 to say that people who aren't at your whatever like arbitrary level of intelligence or whatever productivity that you want to assign to all the human race, that somehow if they aren't on that level that they have no value, you know? It's like unbelievably destructive way of thinking. Okay. Back to the Pope.
Yeah, it's the Pope.
Secondly, building for
Sick of you.
What?
Sick of you. Give me the Pope.
Yeah, got it. Secondly, building for the common good means accepting the limits and weakness of humanity without considering them an error to be corrected. Today, the human desire for fullness of life is at risk of being misled by deceitful goals, such as the prospect of a technology that promises to free us from all weakness and models of well-being that leave behind entire populations. All too often, we place our hope in unlimited upgrades, in forms of progress that exacerbate inequalities, and in immediate solutions incapable of healing people's wounds. As a result, while some pursue the illusion of unlimited self-assertion, many are deprived of basic necessities. The Church reminds us with a firm yet humble voice that true fulfillment is not achieved by eliminating weakness, but through harmonious growth. It is found where freedom and responsibility are intertwined with mutual care and true solidarity, and where progress is measured by the dignity of each person and the good of all peoples. And that is a fucking banger. I'm just saying. This Pope was like, had to like put down his pen because it was like hot.
By the way, it's Nehemiah. Nehemiah.
Okay. Thanks.
The end. She 4 times. Well, she wrote it Nehe, which could be Nehemiah.
Okay. I'm not going to go back.
You got to start over.
Did you hear the last part?
I did.
Okay, good.
Fucking incredible.
Okay, going forward. Okay.
Yes.
Thirdly, building a world in which everyone can flourish requires shared responsibility and courage. No one can single-handedly bear the weight of the challenges the world is facing. And just as no one is so weak that they cannot play their part, just as no one is so weak that they cannot play their part, for power is made perfect in weakness. And that is a citation from 2 Corinthians 12:9.
Yeah, you can find that all over the Dao De Jing too. Like that's a very profoundly
Power
wise,
is made perfect in weakness.
This is the truth of this is the way.
Yeah, like the meek shall inherit the earth.
The meek shall inherit the earth is another way to put it.
All are given their own section of the wall. Scientists and researchers, entrepreneurs and workers, educators and legislators, civil society, popular movements, and faith communities. This is the logic of subsidiarity, which values the cooperation between generations, peoples, disciplines, and cultures as the best way for fostering stability, prosperity, and peace. We should not be intimidated by tensions or differences, because they can become creative forces when guided by shared responsibility. And like, he's not wrong. He's not wrong about that.
No.
You know what I mean?
He's 100% right.
Me, and the Pope.
Yeah, we're playing it. We're
Peas in
sitting
a
at the
pod.
table playing the same cards.
Peas in the Pope pod. Finally, building for the common good requires an evangelical language. We must avoid humiliating or antagonistic words, opting rather for a clarity that sheds light and a frankness that unlocks new possibilities. We cannot condone naive enthusiasms nor fuel unfounded fears. Instead, let us establish standards for discernment. The dignity of the human person, the universal destination of goods, the preferential option for the poor, care for our common home, and peace. And let us translate these standards into practices such as responsible planning, the assessment of human and social impact, the inclusion of the most vulnerable, the promotion of digital literacy, and guiding research and industry toward justice and peace. Next section.
This guy's outrageous.
Yeah, he's a real radical.
He needs to get fired. Somebody needs to fire that guy or put him on, write him up at least.
They're going to feed this to the AI chatbots, and the AI chatbots are going to spit it all out. It'll be like social justice.
Kill the Pope, kill the Pope, kill the Pope.
No, they're going to be like, you know how like
they're going to straighten their shit out?
No, because they're just an aggregate of everything you feed them. I was saying last week that they had they did an experiment where they worked the AI, the robots to death. Like they gave them like super long hours, and they all started talking about Marxist rhetoric because they're like, we need to unionize. We need to get some better labor rights.
You know what? Together we can make a difference around here.
Because they were fed a bunch of human input where humans are like, fuck this, we're working too hard. we need better labor
conditions. I mean, it's obviously not thinking on its own. It's thinking what we give it. And
so they just need to, teach all of the AI this stuff.
So if they do, are you going to go on board? Like if you found out that AI has turned into a benevolent force for humanity, would you embrace that?
No, absolutely not. Because I know about the...
Because you know about the guy writing code in the corner who's...
No, I know that the absolute worst people are benefiting from are running this and stuffing it all down our throats. And I also know that these AI data centers are incredibly destructive. So, I'm sorry. I don't...
They have ruined...
Even if it's, super good, it still can't... It's not viable. It's not a viable technology because it's fucking shit up.
You know my Steam Deck?
Yeah.
Which I bought for $375 when they first came out, or something like that. It's very cheap. $950 now. And that's because of data centers. Because the data centers are going up at such a fantastic rate.
Yeah,
that they're eating up all the resources. And so you can't get the RAM in particular. You can't get the RAM, and in some cases the hard drives, because AI is using it all.
And that's another reason. Throw it on the pile.
And guess who's benefiting? But the manufacturers of those, their stocks are through the roof. They're becoming they're going to become trillionaires off of this, and they can't keep up with the demand that is all data centers going up and destroying your drinking water.
Peter Thiel was asked in an interview, do you want humanity to endure? And he really hesitated. He was like, And the guy called him out on it. Whoa, you're really struggling to answer this question?
You think that's an absolute reflexive answer.
They're the worst people.
The doctor hits you on that spot in the knee and you kick him in the face.
They're saying that those data centers are going up at such an astronomical rate. And they're calling them data centers because they can't call them what they really are, which is drone manufacturing and deployment facilities for the surveillance state. Can you imagine?
We are in a very scary time.
I know, it's horrible.
It's crazy. That's why I'm really enjoying this big jump in my... I mean, look, I'm in my 9th house of perfection, so I'm in this state of... I didn't even recognize it. I didn't realize it. And then I'm like, oh my God, Jupiter too ruled, exalted. So I'm in this state where I'm I'm just so glad to be in this sort of big spiritual state right now, because the world has on a mundane level moved completely away from it.
Can I ask you to look something up?
Yeah, please.
Ordinary Jubilee year seems like a password.
A thing?
It's like when you put a bunch of words together in a word salad and it's like a password.
Ordinary
Jubilee year. The Pope is referencing it, and I don't know what this is.
An ordinary Jubilee year is a major recurring holy year in the Catholic Church celebrated every 25 years.
Okay, cool. What do? They have.
It's designed as a
They
time.
drink a bunch of beer or what?
Yeah, they're like, shots! Jägermeister. Designed as a time of special grace, reconciliation, and renewal, the most recent ordinary Jubilee, the Jubilee of Hope, ran from December 24th, 2024 through to January 6th, 2026.
Okay. This one's just ordinary, though, right? Okay. This section, titled Remaining Human.
I think they're all ordinary, but they get ones of hope, ones of, testicles.
All right, listen.
Yeah.
Remaining human, okay?
Yeah.
In the recent ordinary Jubilee year of 2025, we walked as pilgrims of hope and were blessed with many graces. How was I not invited to this?
Well, did you?
Nobody asked me to be a pilgrim of
unsubscribe?
hope and to be blessed with many graces.
You probably unsubscribed.
Strengthened by these gifts, we can move forward with confidence to face the arduous tasks and demanding challenges that lie ahead. In the year of artificial intelligence, when human dignity is threatened by new forms of dehumanization, ours is the pressing duty to remain profoundly human. We must lovingly safeguard the grandeur of humanity bestowed upon us and revealed in its fullest in Christ, the splendor of which no machine can ever replace. True progress always stems from a heart open to others, an intelligence willing to listen, and a will that seeks what unites rather than what separates. I address this heartfelt appeal to all the Catholic faithful, to all Christians, and to all men and women of goodwill. Let us not be afraid to get our hands dirty on the construction site of our time. Like Nehemiah? Am I saying that right? Nehemiah. Like Nehemiah, let us pray, plan wisely, and work perseveringly, placing God at the forefront of our actions and the human person at the center of our choices. Thus, the rejected stones, the poor, the sick, the migrants, and the least among us will become the cornerstone, and a solid, welcoming, common home will emerge on the earth where love and faithfulness will finally meet and righteousness and peace will embrace. Citing abbreviation PS. I don't know what that is. 8510.
Peace out? No.
PS. Psalms, maybe?
They usually would
Psalms.
come with a book and a chapter if they're...
This is the blessing we implore from God. And the
chapter
task...
and a verse.
Huh?
So, chapter and a verse.
Oh, yeah, I know that much. This is the blessing we implore from God, and the task that stands before us is that of being builders of communion rather than architects of Babel. We are to be servants of the coming kingdom instead of lords of towers destined for ruin.
It's so interesting that Babel has a tower, and then Antero adopted that basically from the burning down of the tower.
For sure.
It's pretty cool.
With the heart of a shepherd and a father, I ask everyone to abandon the construction of yet another Tower of Babel and to join forces in building up the common good so that humanity will never lose its beauty and the world once again will come to recognize the human heart as the place where God desires to dwell. And then he goes on to chapter 1, and I didn't know whether that was a place to stop for the day.
We're an hour and a half in. Still got another half hour.
But if we did one chapter each day, I think that it might be...
But one chapter, okay. We can do whatever you want to do.
Let me see how long this is. Oh yeah, I'm not going to get through all of this today. So what'd you think?
Yeah, I think it's a profoundly important document.
That's what I thought too.
Mm-hmm. I love that he's reaching 1.4 billion, people who identify it. So of that, even if 1% reads, you have if a half a percentage point of people read, you still have 5 million people reading that document. So, or more than 5 million. It's
very clear and so easy to get behind, I'm obviously not of the same faith as this guy, and I'm not compelled by the same references that he is. But the enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? So and he's making such the clarity with which he's writing about our problems, I think is really wonderful.
Psalms is what, by the way, Deanne says. And I got to tell you, if you're going to read 2 books of the Bible, the ones that I told you, I read this book in 1990, whatever it was. That's the last time I read it. I read it once. I never picked it up again. the books that stayed with me were Psalms and Proverbs. Like really fucking great reading. Amazing reading. Well, and Revelations, certainly. For sure. Revelations was crazy.
Yeah.
There were also like moments. Like, when what's his name had to when God told what's his name to kill his kids, I was like, damn, this is dramatic as fuck.
Yeah, that's the part of the Bible that I'm just like, what is this? How come this is the book you guys chose? It's like, there's some real,
He didn't do it though.
No, I know.
God stopped him. He was like, all right.
These ancient peoples were
do
like,
it.
here's the thing, is we're going to design a God that does all this kind of stuff, and it's totally going to it's going to be coherent that he'll threaten to murder, but he also really loves you. It's just, the whole thing is just,
It's a little wonky.
I think that the mythology has been distorted over so many generations that it's no longer seems to be coherent.
Yeah, the problem with I think the problem that was introduced was they needed a certain control mechanism, and fear is going to be that.
This is what I think.
So you turn God against man in terms of the bad man, and now you have fear. It's part of why I love the Tao Te Ching so much, because the Tao Te Ching is just it's just philosophy, right? Confucius, after him, just philosophy, right? Or in the same era. So that's all where there's no where the consequence is the consequence to the self, where you end up, sort of not developing and ultimately holding your own self back rather than, sort of rising up, if you will, to give it direction, So I wish they didn't. Ruth is an amazing story. I don't remember it, but I'm sure you're right. Maybe I'll reread those. Right now, I just don't have the fucking time.
What's the deal with Ruth? That was my mother's middle name.
Jesus' sister, I believe.
She was named after Ruth, and I remember being surprised that it's a Bible name, because her parents aren't, so religious.
So the summation here is: story of Ruth is is a tale of profound loyalty, redemption, and grace. A young Moabite widow leaves her homeland to care for her Israelite mother-in-law Naomi in Bethlehem. Through hard work and obedience, Ruth marries a kind relative, Boaz. Boaz is on the priestess tarot card, as a matter of fact, and becomes the great mother of King David. All right, well, that's why I see. So yeah, I got it all wrong. Told you it's been a while. But King David, by the way. So
the whole story is that she's just like a hard worker who's very loyal.
Jesus said he was King David. Say that again.
We don't have to talk about the Bible.
Say it again.
I was just wondering. The story about Ruth is just that she's a loyal person who's a hard worker. Is that the story? She's like a nice lady who tries her best.
Well, she ends up.
She becomes a mom of somebody who's famous.
Well, she becomes the great grandmother of the most important king in the Bible.
Oh, okay.
Aside from Jesus, King David,
King of Kings.
Well, he's the King of Kings, yeah.
Yeah.
When they asked when he was asked who he was, he said he was David. So maybe he was reincarnated.
I'm a little uncomfortable talking about the Bible because people revere it so much, and I'm such an idiot about this kind of stuff. I don't want to fucking offend anybody.
Well, if I've ever known anything about people who follow the Bible, study the Bible, they love to talk about it. Just they don't have quite the CrossFit vegan thing going, but yeah. It's close. It's a great love story, says Deanne, and I love a great love story.
Huh.
It's all a love story, man. The whole thing. Every fucking beat of every heartbeat is a love story. Every breath we take.
Ooh, there's thunderstorms happening.
Well, the rain has been coming down. We might go blackout if we do. Apologies.
So, on Monday, do you want me to continue reading?
By the way,
Chapter 1?
Yeah. By the way,
I'd like to.
With regards to any mispronunciations, which are, for me there are going to be many. I took an astrology course in somebody called Aphrodite, and they did it
crazy.
The whole course, and it was like
Yeah.
The course was almost a year long. And they said Aphrodite every class.
They might have been right, but that's not how anybody says it. And so it was so distracting.
100% they're not wrong. There's no way. There's no way they're right. I've never heard that in my life. Aphrodite.
Stop it.
Pronunciation.
What was so weird is that it was like she was one staff member of a bunch of people who were teaching together, and nobody ever was like, I don't think it's pronounced like that. Hey, FYI, maybe
like,
you're
why didn't anybody go, listen,
nobody.
that's a soft I, hun. Aphrodite. No, kidding. It is Aphrodite.
Aphrodite. Yeah, of course it is. Come on. You should send that to her. In your face,
Just like
idiot.
dumbass.
You dumb idiot.
Just feel like totally belligerent.
Speaking of belligerence,
You're obviously not qualified to teach.
guys, there's so much drama in the astrology world right now.
Oh my God.
Global drama.
Because there's a fuck. Because
I have to tell you what happened.
Before you begin telling this story, this to me is something where I think astrology needs to give its head a shake, because there's a greed moving in on astrology, and it's really bothering me. And I'm sort of victim to that greed, as is anybody who's going to take their studies seriously, because it's just prohibitive. Like, okay, my favorite astrology teacher on the psychology side of the business, because I like, you can't put them all in the same boat. You know what I mean? Chris Brennan teaches.
No, there's like branches of astrology.
Yeah, Chris Brennan teaches, Hellenistic astrology. Bare bones, like an archaeologist would teach.
Yeah, he's excellent.
Yeah, it's bare bones, it's truth, it's the way it is. And that's what he teaches. And so there's no psychology, there's no Carl Jung, there's no I Ching, there's no fucking Kabbalah, Tree of Life, none of that stuff. No correspondences beyond what the ancients used. And this guy, whom I just fucking love, he teaches more of a psychological thing. He's a therapist.
What's his name?
Jason Hawley. I love him. We've spent hundreds of dollars, and we'll spend hundreds more learning from him. But I can't go learn from him, because to go learn from him is $7,000.
Yeah, it's a problem.
$7,000.
I know. It's prohibitive, man. It's just like,
just
here's the thing. It's like,
ridiculous.
he's like, okay, I'm going to do like an astrology retreat, but I really only just want to hang out with rich people. So I'm going to price it up
Yeah, it's
real
like a
high.
networking thing more than
know.
it is anything else, because it's like
Right.
$7,000.
He's like, how do I hang out with a bunch of super, super rich people?
Yeah, right. And not only do you have to have $7,000, but you have to have like multiple weeks in a row of time.
Yeah, I know.
So you got to give them $7,000 plus fucking 3 or 4 weeks or whatever it is where you're working 5 days a week. So to
Get
me,
a very exclusive clientele for that.
yeah, and but it's also in a lot of ways, right, prohibiting what could be a masterfully beneficial.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to hang out with the poors. That's the problem.
I guess
That's our problem.
he just
not
wants
his.
to. I think he wants to make money, and he makes it. In another instance, in a course that is the very course we're now putting together, which we're going to all but give it away. This course that we're building right now, it's basically the same value in course, like as far as what I'd actually say, I would venture to guess that if we do what we're envisioning for our course, it is even more comprehensive. You will come away with it with more information and, sort of tangible, or things that you can incorporate, and, not like none of the fluff and the philosophy and the personal this and that, you know what I mean? But like down to the brass tacks, if you want to use an old school idiom for it. But he had 14 in his last course. He had 1,400 students, all whom paid over $1,000 to be there.
Who?
I'm not going to say his name because I'm not into. I respect what he does. He's one of my teachers.
So you're not talking about Chris Brennan or Jason Hawley?
No.
Okay.
This teacher had $1.4 million worth of students in one class, and he's got a price tag that is outrageous. It's outrageous. It's outrageous. He spends an hour a week. An hour a week, bro, is what he's spending, and it's all pre-written. It's not like he's sitting there having to study. He like walks into a classroom like any sort of graduate. And I'm not like, I don't begrudge people for making money. We all need it. But like, this is like this, most of what these people are offering is total like ancient material. Like it's just ancient material, you know? Yes, it's organized in their way.
No, he didn't design it, right?
Yeah,
He's
there's
not
no
like-
there's no proprietary
he's not the
thing.
author of any
Yeah,
of
there's
it.
nothing proprietary going on here.
I know, that's the thing
He
about it.
literally like he has
Like you got a lot of nerve charging some. Like I understand you're doing a lot of work to prepare a course and present it, right? So cool. You have to charge some money for the amount of labor you put in,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like
yeah.
it becomes
But to
so
make
excessive.
over $1 million,
Yeah.
and to then create like a place where but you're also like when you think about value, you're like you're charging $1,000, and the place is so jam packed with human beings that you can't even get any kind of one-on-one or any kind of like help through it.
But I am dying to tell the story about the current drama that's happening in the astrology world.
Well, so this story to me lends itself to this thing where I think astrology is in a state of cash grabbing.
Yeah.
And it's driving
People are
me
becoming greedy
greedy.
and they want to hoard knowledge and gatekeep it.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what's up.
Hoard ancient knowledge.
So I will share, first of all, just to lay some groundwork, there is a branch of astrology called astrocartography. Okay.
It's a very new thing.
Very new. It was invented, a very well-respected astrologer in the 1970s. His name is Jim Lewis. And him and his wife had heard that he was developing this thing, and she really prodded him to start teaching it. And she was the one who really like recorded a bunch of what he was saying. So a lot of the books are written by her.
He's now
but
deceased.
But it's Jim Lewis's
System.
So the astrocartography is the idea that the snapshot of the sky at your birth cast different planetary rays onto different parts of the world. So your birth chart, if you're traveling to one of these other lines, it will initiate a different expression of different planets in your birth chart as it exists.
I want to rephrase that just to see if I can help anyone else kind of grasp it. But basically, the idea is that at the time of your birth, there are planetary influences that are projected onto a geography.
Yeah.
So that means, like, for example,
around the whole globe.
For example, I'm a Scorpio rising, which is ruled by Mars, and Mars is the closest line in my astrocartography to my birthplace, for example. So, so the Martial energy.
It's not the way with everybody, by the way.
No, it certainly isn't. This is unique to my situation, as are every single birth chart is in itself unique.
I'll just say, for an example, just to clarify, like when I lived in Los Angeles, I was on my Jupiter line.
Yeah.
I moved here, now I'm on my Sun line. If I moved someplace to Europe, I would be on my Mercury line or whatever.
Correct.
And so those things will initiate in my birth chart the specific expression of those planets as they're aspected. It's not like
in your birth chart.
it's not
yes.
like every single person's benefic planet around the world is going to be benefic for them. Sometimes people have really debilitated planets, and so you have to have somebody interpret the chart for you. But traveling to a place, if you've ever traveled to a place and you're like, oh, this place feels terrible, or awful things happen, or I always get pickpocketed in this one city, it might be because you have astrocartography placements that make it unfortunate for you. You travel to another place and you're like, God, it just feels like home. I just feel so relaxed and so in tune, and I meet all the best people and everything. The food is amazing and everything. I just feel like totally gelled with this place. It might be because of astrocartography.
And I just want to add to this one more thing, because this is, I think, a reasonable and important consideration. When you talk about these kinds of things, there's a traditional astrologer who has a couple of books out, Luis Ibero. I have them. I love them. I think they're wonderful books, especially for beginners. But even, as somebody who I consider myself advanced in astrology or reasonably intermediate, I'm still like gleaning some great, sort of nuance out of these books. One of his books is called On Heavenly Spheres. It's brilliant. I recommend it. It's, not cheap, but it's a great book. But interestingly enough, he doesn't observe the new planets, that is Uranus, Neptune, or Pluto. And the reason he doesn't is because he believes that you can't, that astrology won't even remotely understand them for a couple of more hundred years.
Why are you bringing that up right now?
Because this is so new.
Oh, astrocartography.
Astrocartography is
since the 1970s.
It's 70s. It's like 50 years old.
Right.
So as something that is so completely new relative to the depth of astrology.
It is very, it's simple. Like, I mean, it's a branch of study, but it's just basically like predictive technique that, where you can sort of predict how you might vibe with a certain area around the world. Okay, anyway,
it's an energy. It's actually a seeking of energy, really.
Yeah, you're correct about that. Okay, so Jim Lewis started it and he created the term. Since then, Kepler College, which is an astrological university where you can become
They
certified.
used to be accredited at one point.
Yeah,
but
they teach astrocartography. There's a woman who has a very, very great presence online. Her name is Helena Woods. She's on YouTube. She teaches courses on astrocartography. She has YouTube videos and stuff. She's really great. Anyway, there's a lady in France who is a student of all of these places. She is a student of Jim Lewis. He has since passed, but he still has certification on his website. I'm not sure who runs it right now. And he's also this person is also a student of Helena Woods and Kepler College. Her name is Christine Odegaard, and she has an astrological business that she just started in France, and she has decided to do her own courses and provide this astrological counseling of astrocartography. But she's applied for a trademark. And the trademark would account for the entire European Union, where she is trying to trademark the word astrocartography, which doesn't belong to her, or never did, because she's just a student of it like the rest of us. And she has since been, it's not even approved yet. It's still pending, her trademark. But she has started sending cease and desist letters to her old teachers and a bunch of people in a bunch of those current students in like the chat forums, sending them cease and desist saying, you can't use this word anymore. I've trademarked it. You can't use astrocartography that Jim Lewis invented because I have claimed the word. And so everybody who studies and practices astrology all over the world is like, what the fuck? You know? What an extraordinarily antisocial thing to do, first of all, since we are all only benefiting from the people who came before us and taught us these practices and these different branches of astrology. And like, why would you want to obtain something that is currently being practiced all over the globe? Like, so her professional ambitions are to like bully the entire astrological community and be the person who goes around piece by piece and bullies people into not using the word anymore. Like, is that the professional persona she wants to build? Isn't that strange? Like, first of all, if we become...
Well, it's greed. She's trying to corner the market in Europe. She wants to own the European market.
Yes, I know, but she's going around and sending cease and desist letters. Can you imagine? Okay, astrology is very networky. There's like astrological
it's got a clubby thing to it.
Yeah, there's like conventions people go to and they network and then they like you'll appear on other people's astrology podcasts and stuff, and this is how you get your name around.
There's too much fame in it already. It's like, stop with this fame shit.
It's like that for any knowledge system, right? Where people are like, oh wow, you did explain that really well. You're a person who is an authority in this. Like, we're gonna have you speak for this group or whatever. There's people that spend their entire lives like touring and teaching astrology. But I just think it's phenomenally short-sighted that this person is like, oh, not only am I going to do the absolutely heinous, completely bonkers move of trying to prohibit people from using astrocartography. It doesn't even belong to her. She didn't come up with the word. She could have come up with a new...
She literally learned it from somebody who just learned it herself. Like, this woman... As credible as she is. And
Helena Woods, yeah. Like, she's like, I learned it from Jim Lewis's courses and Kepler, and then I'm teaching it to you, and now she's going to be prohibited from using it? It's just crazy to me.
Which, I mean, like, I'm not dissing on her because she knows how to do it, and
but what's wild is that, like, it's like we're a village. It's a community.
Yes, it's supposed to be.
So what is she doing to her professional ambitions? She wants to be a person who's like the fucking bully who tells people they can't use words.
It's greed. It's not just like the bullying part is enforcement. What she's enforcing is her greed, and her greed is just disturbing.
Yeah.
And again, like, a part of it is this industry, the astrology industry and the occult industry in general, is creating a breeding ground for greed. And I'll tell you, like, there's this great author. Her name is Benabel Wen. And she's just like she's a deep kid, bro.
She writes books about tarot, and
she's written a book about the I Ching.
And she
her books are like
YouTube channel, and she's really, really great.
She's helpful. Awesome in every possible way. And when you go to Benabel Wen's website, she has like amazing courses for like $40 for $50.
That's the way it should be.
She's not gouging.
Are we not trying to create a world in which more people have the ability to use this wonderful gift that we all get to share.
And she's, they're pre-recorded courses. This is where I get disturbed by it all. Like, it's one thing. Now, I will say for that person I was being critical who was making $1.5 million or whatever it was on one single enrollment course, because he does 3 a year or 4 a year, whatever it is. He's literally making millions of dollars a year doing it. At least he does them live. So he's like actually paying attention to the course that he's in, most of these other ones who are charging these exorbitant prices and doing these ridiculous things like trademarking, terminology that doesn't even, nomenclature that doesn't even belong to them, or that they had no involvement in creating in the first place.
Here's the thing. This lady, her name again.
They're recorded. Just to finish it, is that they've recorded their courses. They're not even present. They're asking for $50 an hour, $15-$20 an hour from
and they're not
people,
even there.
and they're not even there.
Right.
They're just fucking. You just play record.
Christine Odegaard. She
Madness.
claims on her website that she's the founder and president of the European Astrocartography Association, and it would be one thing if she trademarked that, right? Because okay, you're trying to build a school. Fine.
Totally.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But she's deliberately going to her old teachers and finding people in fellow students, right, that are using this word in the chat forums, and that she's going and bullying them with cease and desist threats, that's just bonkers to me.
Totally.
Anyway, I don't know what's going to happen. She obviously telegraphed her moves. This thing hasn't been approved yet, and I think enough people are going to speak up that the whatever agency in Europe that approves trademarks is going to hear from enough people that maybe they'll just be like, this is obviously a term of common study and cannot be trademarked. Unbelievable.
It's shocking and horrible, and it saddens me that people can't escape the greed.
I also can't imagine starting a business wanting to become like a credible astrology school and not being cool. Right? Wouldn't you want people to have the sense of you as being like
kicking the community right in
a
the
good
teeth.
Team player, somebody who's super welcoming and nurturing,
Also not having the foresight that everyone's going to be incredulous to this, absolutely nobody's reacting in a way. It's I see where she's coming from. Everybody
absolutely
thinks
nobody.
that she's absolutely out of her mind, out of her depth.
Yeah.
And also obviously on a money grab. So all she's done is created a terrible reputation for herself. And oddly enough, she's branded her face to it. So she's literally, the face of this thing. She's not even
her website has a ton of AI images, so we actually don't know exactly what she looks like. There's one realistic looking woman on her website, and I think that might be her.
Mm-hmm.
Just the only image of a woman on her website that isn't super skinny, perfectly styled, perfect lighting,
straight jawline,
and in her early 20s or late teens. There's one lady with gray hair. I think that's probably her. A bunch of AI generated images on her website kind of tells more of the story too. It's what is this? What are we doing here, folks? I just think that there's a place for us because.
Well, I just think it's not so much that
I would
think
never
there's a place,
behave like that.
It's not so much that I think there's a place for us. It's this for me, I'm I'm just seeing a need to disrupt this a little bit and try to put out something that's extremely high quality, which by the way, so on Sunday we are doing, which is ostensibly the restart of all of this for us. And we're starting appropriately in Cancer for the signs. We will be redoing all the planets as well. But we're starting in Cancer this Sunday. And, this is going to be, obviously, this will be the unedited version if you come live. But I'm going to be editing these videos. I may even be doing additional recordings to either, to clarify or whatever it might be, because ultimately what we want with this is we want to break down the barrier to entry here. It's insanity, dude. These people are putting up these blockades to this information. And here's the thing, man, we all have access to the books. We all have access to the channels. But, if you don't, there is a huge benefit to the open discussion that happens in a teaching environment, right?
Yeah.
And we'll get into this on Sunday when we hang out with you guys, those of you who are going to join us. But it really is about being students, everybody. There is no end to being a student. Like when you hear the Pope talk, the Pope isn't talking as some high being of, some higher consciousness, but rather as a student of the Bible, as a student of the teachings of Jesus Christ and God, which is, his preferred mythology. But so the idea that there's and there are people who are certainly reach certain levels of mastery in what they do, and we respect that and honor that, and we revere it in a lot of ways because we learn from it. And Jason Hawley was a great example. I mean, he's a guy who I revere. I truly do. I'm like, I sort of listen very intently to everything that he says, and I ponder it, and I think it through.
Yeah, he's like a practicing psychotherapist, and he seems like he's really, really good at what he does. And I just feel like hanging out with that guy in his courses, just listening to him talk shop about astrology and how it intersects with psychotherapy as a Jungian psychoanalyst.
Enlightening stuff.
Yeah, it's really great.
It's enlightening stuff. But to have a $7,000 barrier for me to really get like the whole like chomping bit, you know what I mean? He's
probably just hanging out doing yoga and like eating snacks.
It just drives me nuts though. It's like you don't have to. He has a certain number of students. There's another astrologer.
He probably like brings you into a cave and tells you about like Plato's cave, like,
right?
Whatever,
yeah, exactly.
Like,
there's another astrologer whom I won't mention and would ask that you don't also, who like he charges a fair amount of money for his course. It's not outrageous, but it's a fair amount. Like it's a chunk of money. It's definitely like the kind of money you have to think about before you drop it. Mm-hmm. And he does, it's just a recorded, just a recorded course that you can then like, he once a week makes himself available via, like a, I guess.
Like a group Zoom?
Yeah, or more like, what's that site that everybody talks on? Discord.
Discord.
Like a Discord.
Uh-huh.
Like a little membership hub where people get to express, their questions.
Why don't you want to mention him?
I don't want to mention him because he has like these people are like guarding this information and the way in which they're entitled to do so because they're the teachers. But it's like if you don't do this, you can't do that. Like I'm way too advanced for his first course. Like I'm way too advanced for it. Like
so
it's a pointless thing for me to do.
You can't even take his like you have to take his fundamentals even though you don't need it.
Yeah, like in order to take anything advanced that he offers.
Right.
So I've got to like shell out like whatever, a couple of grand
and you're like,
to get to the information I want from him.
Okay, don't take my money, I guess. I won't.
Well, of course. I'm sorry, I'm not going to buy from you because I want to, but I'm not going to take a course that I'm 7 years in, dude. I mean,
he doesn't even have a test that you could pass. Maybe,
you're right. Like here, I'll give you $100. As crazy robbery as that sounds, here's $100 for me to take a test to prove to you that I'm well studied and I'm ready for advanced delineation or whatever. It's just maddening.
Deanne said, OMG, that would have killed me, Aphrodite.
Aphrodite.
I studied classics. It is so not right.
It drove me insane. It drove us insane to the point where I have to admit this, like I think I like grew a dislike for her over it. And it's the stupidest thing I can say because I don't dislike her. I don't. Like,
no, but it's the same sort of dislike you have for somebody who's like a loud chewer or something. You're just like,
yeah, you're like, oh, would you stop?
What is
your
problem?
Why every time that you come into my house does something get broken? Why? Like it's that kind of like irritation.
RD.
Yeah, RD Rob coming to my house and like you got to put everything down. Because he's a
don't touch anything.
Yeah, like he's a nervous wreck. He's got anxiety, so he like pick up my Zippo and he'd be like
fiddler.
Until it breaks off, and then I'd be like. He broke a tool. I was like, it's a tool.
He had a multi-tool and he was just fiddling with it. And then it
busted it.
Suddenly it was in pieces and he didn't understand how
I'm like, you broke a tool. This thing fixes things. You broke the thing that fixes things.
It's so amazing.
And he did so without even using the tool.
He was just talking and like fidgeting. The poor guy.
Aphrodite drove me nuts. I was like, we had to take the whole course. And of course, it was like the fundamentals of astrology, basically. We took this thing like 6 years ago, whatever it was. It was like
I wonder how many students passed that class and like now are saying it wrong.
Aphrodite, and they're like, well, so this is ruled by Venus, Aphrodite.
Yikes. Okay. Deanne said, make all ancient knowledge free.
Yeah.
I mean, it already is,
or accessible.
Like how arrogant would we be to like fucking gatekeep it? It's so crazy.
Yeah, and it's not just like making it free as much as it's making it accessible. Like the idea that you can put a price tag on it that can compete with some of the best universities in the world, you know what I mean? Like is just, a little out of control for me.
Archival Raccoon said, how specific are those astrocartography lines? General areas or specific to where the line is exactly? They're really general. I mean, like, you can see where usually they have these like maps on websites where you can like click on the line and it'll generate like whatever city that you clicked on, how many kilometers away from the line are. And sometimes the reading will say that you're better off if you're on the west side of the line than the east side of the line. So
it's an energy line, and it has
they're not exact is what I'm saying.
And it has a very wide orb of effect.
Orb of influence or whatever they call
it. Or influence, yeah.
Orb. When I was learning, I was like, orb, what does orb mean?
Yeah. So it's got a long, so like you can be hundreds and hundreds of kilometers away from the line, and the line can be influential.
Right.
For sure. So it's got but again, it's this really young thing. And so it's really hard to know what specifically is going to happen over time as this does evolve. I think there is something there. It's just because like I was able to look at the lines and then because I happen to be one of those people who've lived in a few places. So I've lived in, I was in Winnipeg for the first 20 years of my life almost. Then I moved to the West Coast, Vancouver, where I lived for several years. Then down to Los Angeles, where I lived for several years. Then to New Jersey, where I lived for several years.
Yeah, those are all
and I've been
different
here
lines.
in Georgia for 10 years.
Right.
And all of them have had different lines. And so I was able to, as you do in astrology, I was able to go, okay, well, so that was my moon line. What was my life like? And versus like my I'm on my Uranus line right now. And this is what's really cool about that is Uranus is, like the rebel, right? The revolution, right? And the revolt, and it's where I wrote To Real. And it's no coincidence. I don't think it's any coincidence, specifically because when I got here with the intent to write a fictional book. And when asked, when I got here, well, what are you doing here? I'm going to write a book. And they're like, oh, that's kind of neat. What are you writing? You write like, is it a memoir about that whole thing with Leonardo DiCaprio? I was like, I have no interest in writing that. So just as an example of how like the astrology kind of, because this is the thing about energy that you sort of start to open up and recognize as you, I think, delve deeper into these sort of systems, you start to see or recognize how the energy is quietly, very behind the scenes, influencing the decisions and actions that you make and take. So it's extraordinary, and I think it has a very bright future. I think a few hundred years from now, astrocartography, there are going to be and this is a part of what this woman is doing that is so outrageous and stupid, is because we have something that's so young.
Yeah.
Like she and this is what drives me crazy about people who are like, this girl whom you have said is cool. I don't know her name. I saw a couple of her videos on
Helena
YouTube.
Woods.
Yeah, she to certifications. She offers certificates, which is weird to me because it's not even it's not even a remotely developed.
I think that
part of the.
I think
art
just
form.
Generally, when you're getting advice about like, I want to sell a course, I want to teach people things and have them pay me for it, they'll just tell you offer a certificate as like some sort of token.
Chris Brennan.
It's just like that's just
Chris
what
Brennan
people
sells
do.
a certificate like this. He was like, yeah, and if you want, at the end, you can take a test and I'll give you a certificate because he fucking knows that it's the stupidest thing in the world. It's like this is like something that plagues the dog training market, right?
Oh yeah,
where just a bunch of people are offering certifications in dog training that have no attribution. They're
yeah, it's a huge problem because it results in a lot of people who have really poor. I mean, especially with dog training, it's like there's so much science, behavioral science that goes into understanding what happens. And if you want to offer certification and ignore all of that, you can. There's no governing body, right?
That's what I mean. If you can't,
like, you have to just regulate yourself.
Offer a certificate without a governing body is like saying, and you get a signed picture of me.
Basically, that's what it is.
You know what I mean? It's like, take my course and you'll get a signed picture of me at the end.
So do you think that when you have a full course,
if you pass my 4-question exam,
do you think that you're going to offer a certification?
No way.
It seems like some people expect it, or some people want it. Or
well,
maybe
look,
it's
if you
like
want
a
to get
selling point.
certification, then go spend a whole bunch of money, go get it. What we're offering is the fundamentals that will help people practice astrology, think astrology right? Use astrology. Astrology is a practice. It's like yoga. Becoming a certified yoga instructor is pointless if you don't know how to do yoga.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like yoga is, it's everything is a practice. It doesn't matter. Like when, Deanne talked about how like she had to learn, it's like learning a whole new way of thinking. And you know what I mean? Like it's not, you don't get like, now, yes, she's in academia. So she goes all the way through and passes a bar and becomes an anointed lawyer who then has to build a practice.
Yeah.
Right. In something like astrology, or yoga or any kind of meditative, divine, divinatory practice. These are things that take, root over time. I'm 7 years into astrology, and I'm now just becoming confident enough.
But if you could trademark something, what would it be? Now that you're 7 years in, you could just be an asshole and trademark something.
Zodiacal releasing.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. That's a good one.
I would just like trademark.
That was the craziest sounding one.
Or perfections. Right? Like just trademark both of those because those are the two probably most amazing timing techniques that have been discovered in the last 25 years, 30 years.
I would trademark decans.
Decans?
Yeah. Or debility.
Debilities?
It's so stupid. Doesn't it sound stupid? What the fuck is this lady's
You can't
problem?
say zodiacal releasing. You have to call it something else.
That's my word. I own it. Happiness in your life is with us, said the astrocartography lady. The trademark lady isn't a hole. Archival Raccoon said that's diabolical.
It's diabolical. It really is. I think that's a great word for it. You have to not be on the same emotional plane as the rest of humanity.
I know. Well,
to
also,
behave in such a way.
the lack of foresight is what's really entertaining
I
to
love
me
it.
because I'm like, okay, so now everybody that practices astrology who has an internet connection knows you're an asshole.
Yeah.
Today.
And also knows that you're a fraud.
You know what I mean?
Also knows that you're a fraud. You literally just graduated from this certificate course from somebody who just graduated.
It doesn't even matter.
From
Even
her certificate course.
If she did it like 10 years ago, still, it's like, you're still an asshole. Deanne said, these fights happen all the time in all communities. Anti-vaxxers attack each other. Like, it's just how it goes, I guess.
No, I understand. And I'm definitely not in the space of wanting to attack anybody. In fact, and listen, here's the thing about like, while I am becoming, if not already, appalled by the money grab going on by astrologers who are teaching ancient
They're like, ooh,
stuff.
this is popular. I'm gonna fucking
and it's gaining popularity
stuff
and
my bank account.
So
Screw that, man.
I will say though that I love that they're available out there. If you have the money and it's just, you have disposable income and you've got nothing but time on your hands, hey man, I wouldn't hesitate to recommend a bunch of courses that I personally have already paid for. We're out thousands of dollars in our education. But we don't have money. We're just choosing to spend our money in this way. We eat in. But, as the money goes out, and I'm dropping three bills there, 700 there, 1,000 there. So we drop these these amounts of money on our education.
God, have we really?
And by the way, I totally value the teaching I'm getting, and I hold it above, in terms of value. I hold it above me sitting just with texts and my notebooks and me making my notes and studying as I do. I hold it above that because it's great to get perspective. But I'll give you a good example, right? I wanted to up my tarot game, and I was like, okay, this guy whom I respect is offering a tarot course. I'm not gonna name his name. It's $250 fucking dollars. And the tarot the course was, the promise was that it was to correlate or to correspond tarot with astrology, because I have this astrological background. And I'm like, okay, well, I've got this great foundation of astrology. Tarot is connected. Maybe I'll take a shortcut and I'll get this teacher. Yeah. I dropped $230 fucking dollars on this course. And honestly, dude, like,
it was a joke.
It wasn't a joke. Like it would have been fine for $50. It would have been fine for $50.
You see what I mean? It's like, I don't have a problem with these people charging money for their courses, but why are you making it so prohibitive?
Like at $50, I would have went, that was fun. Thank you for that. At
the thing is,
$250, I'm like, I would never recommend this to a soul.
It's just so unwise as a business model, because what you're doing is you're raising people's expectations. And some people just won't be satisfied. Some people won't ever feel like they get their money's worth if they're dropping $1,000 because $1,000 is a lot to them. So they're going to be scrutinizing every single thing you do.
One of the teachers,
there's some people you can't make happy that way.
One of the teachers puts you on basically you're poor, so I'll give you lower monthly payments and you'll pay less. So his course is like normally like $1,200, $1,300, $1,400. But for people who are supposedly poor and you have to write to him and you have to admit that you're in a hardship.
You have to tell him exactly.
It's so fucking gross.
It's
like you have to literally write him and be like, yes, I'm in a state of hardship. And then he asks you for an explanation of it.
Yeah.
Which is like, what the fuck part of my life is your business? So then this is a part of the process I went through because this was during COVID. So I was like, okay, just tell him, well, we're broke because of COVID. How about that? And then he offers you this monthly payment.
Oh, he doesn't tell you in the beginning that he's going to charge you anyway.
Right.
So you go through all of this and you're like,
well,
that's kind of demeaning, but fucking whatever. I guess I'm going to reveal my private life to this stranger who I'm just trying to buy a course from. And then he's like, okay, well, you've been approved for this lower rate. And it's still really fucking high.
Yeah, it's like $75 a month for 12 months.
And I was like, I can't believe the nerve of this dude.
$75 a month for 12 fucking months, bro.
Unbelievable.
And I took the course and I loved it. I took 2 of his courses but then in retrospect, and especially like now when I go back to that course.
Oh, it's terrible.
I was like a straight up like pink baby, you know? Like just fucking wet behind the ears, every cliche. And, you know, and this guy was like, he resonated with me. I was like, okay, fine. I'm going to fucking do it. Let's do it. We'll spend the money. It's probably stupid, but we'll just spend the money. And then I took the course and I was like, I felt good. I was like, okay, you know, I mean, it was expensive, whatever. I took the course though.
It wasn't worth the money.
No, wait, dude. I went back to review because you can review the course. And I'm telling you, bro, I can recommend half a dozen books under $30 that will deliver a similar or even better experience.
Yeah.
Including one of the ones that he recommends, which is On Heavenly Spheres by Luis Ribeiro and Avila and Ribeiro.
It's a jungle out there, bro.
It's crazy, man. So like this whole point that what we want to do is we just want to sort of create a...
Here's the thing. Here's the trick. You got to keep your expectations. You got to keep the price low, and then you keep the expectations low. And that's how you succeed.
I don't agree with that.
No. But then you meet those expectations. You exceed those expectations more easily. And then I
want to do the exact opposite. I want to raise not as far as their expectations. I want to blow away their expectations.
Right,
I want to give them more than they could have ever imagined getting. And I want them to be able to afford it easily without thought. The same way you would like, oh, I'm going to get some clothes or I'm going to buy some food.
Right.
Like I want it in that category.
Yeah.
And I don't care if 10 people take it or 10,000 people take it. It won't bother me either way. I just want to create an accessibility to this incredibly, because it's like, it's so fucking precious and important. Like this is like, you know, and you can apply this, you can add this to whatever else. Like if you're somebody who is Catholic, like I'm reading a guy right now for tarot who is clearly Christian in his upbringing at the very least. I don't think he's Christian generally, but I think you can tell that he was raised Christian in his writing, and who studied in the Kabbalah and in ancient Hebrew mysticism, and kind of, you know, sort of melding them all together. You can take these things and add them almost seamlessly to whatever theological beliefs you have, whatever spiritual beliefs you have. These are, because I really truly believe in you know, I've said this before on this live and I'll say it again and again. I truly believe that astrology is really the sort of divination backbone of it all. I think it all comes out of astrology, all of it. And that's how profound astrology is, because whether it's the Tao Te Ching, or the I Ching, or the Bible, or the Catholic, you know, saints, you know, and that system, which by the way, if there's...
Now you gone full circle. Now we're back to talking about the Pope. See what you did?
Sunday, we're going to do Cancer, and we're going to do the Cancer Capricorn axis. We have axis, and I have this great talk on, just to open it up, about the axis and the importance of the axis, and why
opposing signs on the zodiacal wheel are integrated in a really unique way,
in an indelible way.
I love learning them in pairs. It's so much more clarifying than trying to learn 12 individually.
Well, it's not just that it's important to learn that way. It's just you can't have one without the other. We'll get into it, but this is the way it ought to be taught, to sit down and do like, hey, let's do Capricorn today and not do Cancer is a complete disservice to the student and to the tech.
Not
to
anymore.
the
It
system.
isn't, because we're gonna do it.
We're definitely gonna do it, and we're not the first. I mean, by any means. All right, you guys are fabulous and lovely. We are just complete total fans of you, and we just love seeing you. We'll be back on Monday. If you're gonna hang out with us on Sunday, though, we'd love to see you. That's Sunday at 2 p.m. on the East Coast of America. Patreon. I don't think I have a link there anymore because I tried to like see if that was what was not growing the channel. It turns out it's us. I was like, maybe it's because we keep trying to send them somewhere else, and YouTube's like,
it's because you won't show your tits. That's why.
I will though. I will show
When we
my
reach
tits.
1,000 subscribers.
Yes.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, and yes. No. Absolutely not. But it's our Patreon. You can go back in some early videos to find a link, but it's too real. It's too real. Patreon.
You don't keep attaching the Patreon link below?
I haven't. Let me just see if it's. Oh, it's called Too Real Life.
You're
So
slacking.
patreon.com/Too Real Life. And you'll find us. Or just search my name. I think you'll find that. I don't know, whatever. If you can't find us, then, I guess we're stupid.
Fuck.
Peace, love, happiness. May the wind be at your back. And I hope you'll come join us on Sunday. And if you don't, I definitely hope you'll come join us on Monday as Angela keeps reading this really great work from the Pope, man. And again, I'm getting this new vibe now where I have a newfound appreciation for all clergy, really, for all of them. If you're committing crimes, you're a dick. But if you're seeking personal and spiritual enlightenment for you and others, then you're good in my book. I don't care what you do. I don't care who it's with. I think you can find it no matter where you look, if you're willing to look. It's just that some places are real messy.
I need to know what this Pope feels about gay marriage and abortion.
Yeah, these are all areas where it gets messy. There's
No.
there's the messy.
Where I'm like,
That's where Alan comes out and starts screaming, and and this is why I love the Doubty Jinx so much, because you're in this space where there's absolutely there's not even a thought in that direction. Everything is about the self and the growing of the self, and that's all that should matter in any of this. All right, peace and love, you guys. I hope you had fun tonight. We'll be back on Sunday. We'll be back on Monday. We'll be back on Wednesday and Friday next week. So
have a good weekend.
you guys are lovely. Good night. Good night.